couple of the players are still turning up, but we're expecting them. So in the meantime, guys, just to let you know, I've refreshed everyone's card pools. Everyone has new Cosm cards because we're starting a new act.
Hey, guys.
Hello, Alexander. We've just started.
Hey.
You've not missed much just yet.
I
need to close down my...
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. You'll connect up in a minute. So, as other people, we've refreshed our card hands. Everyone's possibilities have been reset. Strictly speaking, you should be on 3 or 4, but I've set everyone to 4 or 5 because of the perils of the living land that kicked in right at the end of the last act. So I'm not going to give everyone a bonus XP and then, a bonus possibility, and then proceed to take away the same bonus possibility. So, where were we? You had been trekking through the increasingly perilous Manhattan jungle, a better term. You had encountered the strangeness of the Pillar of Ukar, which was completely different to the prehistoric feral reality that the living land seems to be imposing upon the island of Manhattan and beyond. But while you were up there, you did spot that far beyond the mists and the jungle that appears to be encroaching steadily outwards from Manhattan Island beyond, at far Philadelphia, you could see electric lights and land free of the jungle. There was some negotiation about where you should go, what you should be doing next. Somebody suggested going to the Statue of Liberty because you saw that was also, for now, clear of any encroachment from the invading reality. But you continued onwards with the intent that once you've left the hospital, which you're where you are now, you will be heading towards the Holland Tunnel, with hope that that will enable you to get off the island and beyond. When you arrived at the hospital, you found out that there was a guy that had probably become a bit nuts with power, calling himself the Thunderlord. A gentleman otherwise known as Alexander Brandt would appear to also have had the same moment of crisis that the rest of you had, but it would appear that he went down a path of selfishness and greed rather than selflessness and heroism, which, roughly speaking, the rest of you have done. I know there's some contention between Wade's opinion of what selflessness and heroic and what Officer Reyes' opinion of what is selfless and heroic, but regardless to say, thus far, reality itself has found you both suitably selfless and or heroic. So you fought off the Thunderlord's primitive minions, putting him down in the process, recovering his gear and equipment, and you were in the process of taking stock, working out who at the hospital was still able to be moved. There are about 30 or so civilians here now, including the ones you brought with you. The captain, who had her head wounds treated, is now a little bit more compos mentis than she was before. And you were about to decide to start rummaging around and searching out, deciding your next plan of action, when a rumbling from outside alerted Lena to something going on. She ran outside, shimmied up the side of the hospital to get to the roof, and saw that literally on the other side of the Brooklyn Bridge approach road, roughly where the police precinct headquarters, one of the things you were heading for, roughly where that was, the land has either erupted or just transformed into a steaming active volcano with red glowing magma slowly oozing down its sides and smoke pouring out of the top of it. Professor Darnell was completely certain that there is no tectonic activity in this area, but it would appear that the transformations that the living land is bringing to Manhattan do not simply end with plants growing over everything. And I believe we put a little bit on the Google Plus to clarify things. If I can find it and just reread it. It was like, Lena comes rushing back in. Danger, big fire mountain, pointing outside. Wade replies, Where, Mum? Lena. On other side of trail to rock that spans river. I think she means the other side of the Brooklyn Bridge on-ramp, says Wade. Officer Reyes, if it is, then the station house is rubble. Professor Darnell, at the rate that magma's flowing, we've got 15, maybe 20 minutes. Dr. Vanessa, get all these people up and moving. We need to leave here, stat. And Reverend Marcus, capping off everybody's thoughts with, may the Lord have mercy on our soul. So assume that little impromptu conversation has already taken place. You are now at the precise moment that we left. So what are you doing? People in here are milling around. Most of them appear to be looking to Lena for leadership at this point.
We leave. Escape now.
There's a collection of nods from various people.
Wait. Let's not go anywhere before we found this is a hospital. We got probably some useful things we can get.
Point towards the volcano. Big fire.
Couple of the nurses who don't... The group that you've got, there's a mix between people that seem to be more afraid than the others. Those ones are looking startled, alert. They're the ones that seem to be deferring to Lena's strong leadership. They're outnumbering the remaining medical professionals in the group who nod at what Reverend Marcus is saying. But one of them, she introduced herself as Nurse Beryl, who says, it's okay, Reverend. We've gathered everything we need here. And she pulls out a rather large sort of emergency medtech bag. And you can see they've already filled it to the brim with what medical supplies they've been able to rustle up. Dr. Vanessa takes a look, skips through the bag and nods her approval. There's some decent equipment in that bag.
Right then. I think we're ready to go.
Do we need anything else? Says one of the remaining male medtechs. He looks to be wearing an ambulance driver's uniform. Bit tattered and rugged, but still recognisable.
Well, I ain't a medical professional, so oh no.
Can everybody? You're all in the main front reception area that we visited last week. The electricity is still off. It is starting to get dark outside, but despite that, can everybody please make me find checks? I'm not sure if there is anything that helps listening-based find, but 20 into good start rolls, guys. Remember, you only re-roll on a 20 if you've got ranks in the skill. And Lena, you do have ranks in find, so go ahead and re-roll that 20.
The 10 gets re-rolled too, right?
10 gets re-rolled regardless. Doesn't matter if you've got skills or not.
Oh, could
I
you...
rolled. Can you see my character rolling? Because I'm clicking the button and nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening. Don't forget, it's not a button. You need to drag the D20 up.
Could you...
There's no roll associated with the skill.
Bummer, I've forgotten how to play the game already. Okay, doing it.
I'm just going to find the bonus chart.
That's it. Yep, thank you. Hey.
I got 6. That's what I would click the button too many times. Oh, I duplicated it for some reason.
Find this mind?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay,
I got 4.
17.
So I've got 18 in total. Well, yes.
Okay, essentially his only difficulty was 10s. So anybody that got over 10 on their total, so probably, I don't think Wade will have done on a 9 with Wade's terrible mind stat. You notice a different timbre of rumbling coming from outside. Obviously, there's now a background constant from the volcano's activity, but you hear a sort of a more rhythmic boom, 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 boom. Not a drum booming, but like a rumbling of lots of four-legged big creatures moving.
I thought the virgin sacrifices started.
Could be. That's a later point. It's obviously coming from outside. A couple of you move to a point where you can see out. They're at the edge of the car park, probably about 100 meters or so away at the moment. You can see at least half a dozen. You all know what Triceratops look like.
Yeah.
Yes.
With lizard men on the back of them. They're not charging. They appear to be moving at a relatively sort of like sedate pace. The frequency of the boom, boom, boom is because there's half a dozen of them.
What direction are they coming from?
They're coming from the southeast. Actually, more like east. Actually, coming from that direction. If you had to guess, they're coming from the direction of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, all right.
Spears, fire, we go now.
Couple
Gonna
of
start heading off.
couple of the more Compass Mentis members of the medical teams here look and go, but we can't get past them. We can take you through the hospital.
Good.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Who's mainly leading the group? It's
Well,
up
I'll
to
go
you who's
first.
taking point.
I think it's Lena, isn't it? They're the ones
Okay.
everyone's looking up to.
Well, I don't know. I think Marcus would try to be a leader, actually, because this is a sort of Exodus kind of situation.
Do you know what this act is called? Act
Exodus.
3 of this adventure is called Exodus.
So he'll get to play Moses, I thought.
Okay, so Marcus is assisting. Essentially, to guide the group quietly, he's going to require a stealth check. As Marcus says, there's two of you taking point, so whoever makes the roll is going to get a +1 bonus from that additional person. And the 2 or 3 medical staff that are still with you are guiding you through to give you another 1 or 2 point bonus. Get a quick roll at this end.
Blessing and boost everyone's dexterity.
Yeah, you can do if you want to do that. It's not a problem. It'll certainly give you a bit of a bonus for the initial attempt. Oh, for anybody that arrived slightly late, your COSM cards have been changed, as they do. If you've not used the COSM card yet in the act, you take it back and get a new one. So just review those for as and when you wish to spend them. So 13's a bonus of a 1, I believe.
Yeah,
Is that a 0?
So that makes it 14.
Okay, so it's not enough for a good success, but it's enough for a standard. So everyone using Dex, which is for stealth, will get a +1 bonus. There's no limit on the number that affects, is it? It just affects everybody who's a friend within a certain distance. Yep. Okay, so
I'll spend a possibility on it.
Okay.
That's still a 10, so 23. That's 8. I think that's 20. Yeah, I think that's a good. That's outstanding.
Okay, so we're looking at, I guess, a 10, 23, bonus number of 8, I think, for a 23.
Yes, that leaves me at 21.
Yeah, which is enough, because difficulty 10, +10, so it now lasts for a minute and is a +2. Rather than 2 rounds for +2. So, feeling stealthier, more cat-like. Lena, you take the directions. The man's pointing in a direction. He seems to be telling you about third left, second right, that sort of thing. You dismiss all of this nonsense. He just points you in a direction which goes deep into the bowels of this cave network. You trust your senses and stealth away. So, Lena, give us a stealth total. You're getting a +2 to your dex thanks to Reverend Marcus, and you're going to get a +2 in addition thanks to the help from various people. So that's a 0 at the moment, which would give you a stealth total of 10, 11, 12, a stealth total of 14 currently. Is that good enough, or are you going to do anything else? You're not in combat rounds at the moment, so you're able to spend cards as and when if you have them.
I'll stick with the 14.
Okay. Lena disappears off into one of the back corridors into darkness, and everyone starts slowly moving off at the same time. Who's holding up the back?
Likely me. Like
Okay.
a range of my gun.
Can you give me a willpower check?
I stay with officer.
What's willpower? Because I think it should be spirit, but I'm not sure.
I'll let you know. If you don't have it, obviously you're not rolling skilled, but I think it is indeed spirit. That goes for anybody staying back with you as well. Yeah, willpower's off of spirit.
Willpower.
Essentially, it's getting darker.
Throw more than one dice. No, I didn't.
Nope,
I
that
use
was
the
the professor.
possibility on that one.
Okay,
Blah.
Do we all
and
have
that gives
the-
you a 17.
17 is 4. And that
Also roll
means
spell a possibility.
15.
Luckily, trying to hold your nerve isn't something that breaches any world laws.
That's 20.
You should be all right at this moment in time.
Plus
When can I do the
eight,
reconnect?
16.
Sorry, no, you reconnected at the end of the last act. Oh, and you got 5 XP, so you can spend that if you want, but think about it in a bit. If you haven't already bought a perk, you could buy a perk for 5, or you can spend it to put up skills, which will be a number of points equal to the level you're going to. So going from 1 to 2 will cost you 2, 3 to 4 will cost you 4. Yeah, don't worry about it. Reverend Marcus doesn't have to roll that. It's only the people holding up the back.
All right.
Because it's literally as the people start filing out, being far too slow as far as you're concerned, Officer Reyes. Your sort of evacuation training starts kicking in, and you're trying to chivvy people along, but at the same time, you can just feel the ground under your feet is beginning to shake from the volcanic activity outside, and you're just holding it together as you can hear the triceratops outside, like doing their. It's like a honking sound they make, and you can then hear over that the alien voices of the Adinos appear to be conversing, and they do appear to be getting closer and closer to where you are. But you both manage to just hold back primal fear that's rising in the back of your gut, and you disappear into the darkness, just being able to just see the movement of the people ahead of you. And we can cut back to the front of the hospital, as you note, literally as you guys pass into the darkness of the corridor, a sort of Hirokshute's spear pushes through the glass that's left in one side of the automatic door, and the beast riders, now dismounted, appear to move into the foyer behind you. They survey the carnage that's around, the primitive humans that were killed. A couple of them sniff the air. After about a minute, one of them gestures towards the back of the room. And while this is off camera, but this is cinematic, so you see this. You see a handful of the warriors, different to ones you've seen before. These ones appear to have sort of red clay daubed in particular patterns on their skin. A couple of them disappear quite quickly, sort of like running with their tails up to aid them in balance, into the darkness in pursuit of. But for now, you've avoided where they're going. Well, you've avoided encountering at least all of
Phew.
them. Lena, you need just make me a single find check, because you are quite literally following your nose. You're looking out for those tiny indications of light out in the darkness to try and get you through things. Are you leaving that with a -6 on your find?
No,
That's a 2 at the moment.
I'll spend a thingy.
Possibility. They're there to be spent. It's at least a 10 though. So that's a bonus number of a 1 onto your find skill, which gives you what total?
Well, my find is a total of 8.
Okay. It's frustrating. You know where you need to go. You know what you need to do. This cave is not making any sense. There are bits where you turn and you expect there to be, I don't know, some kind of underground stream, because you can smell water, and you open a door and there's nothing but these strange white idols everywhere, and you like and come out. To everyone else, you just turned left into the men's loo and seems to be offended by urinals that haven't yet cracked and comes back out the other way. You're in the midst of the depths of, I mean, anybody in the real world knows how confusing some hospital layouts can be. You're in the midst of this labyrinth, and at this moment in time, you're certain you're lost, and it's pretty almost pitch black at this point. You can see small amounts of light coming down from far off distance reflection. Alexander, are you doing anything to combat the darkness?
Well, I have this little light ball.
And Lena's at the front, essentially, in her primitive tone, she is bemoaning the fact that the moon is not showing. There's no light here. There's not even glowing moss. What sort of cave is this?
Any one of us who's still got a working phone probably has a flashlight of that.
Yep. So that's, I mean, those ones have probably been, that's Wade, probably.
Yeah, I have one as well.
Okay. So those are on. So you've got some light going up. What level? Because most of these you can go 1, 2, or 3. Are you caning your battery, or are you being more cautious?
Being more cautious. So
Yeah, right, you
level
have the
2.
phone light.
Okay, so Wade is using his phone light. So with that, some lights go on at the front. So Lena is now able to see more clearly. Is the professor throwing his ball in the air?
No, I'm also using my cell phone.
Okay, so have you still got the ball? You did pick it up, didn't you?
I picked up the ball again, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Professor, make me a find check, and Officer Reyes, make me a find check as well.
Oh, that's me.
15.
God, I can't.
That's a coincidence. So your bonus number of 2 adds to your find skill to give you a 15. That's cool. Okay, not a problem. It's not. Okay, yeah. No, you're fine. You're not using your rations when you're doing a find, so you're only a 1 case contradiction at the moment. So that's not a disconnect.
I've been wrong 4 times. It's annoying.
Essentially, the light goes on at the front, prompts the people at the back to put their lights on as well to help. And Professor Moore, you're turning your light on, and as you raise your light, remember you've seen who's seen the film Alien?
Me.
Everyone.
You know the scene in the tunnels where he turns and the alien's just there in front of him. Well,
Great.
when you turn, Professor Darnell, there are 2 armed Dinos warriors literally 4 feet behind you.
All right.
You are not surprised because you heard something and turned. Officer Reyes, however, is. Now, the rest of you can't really do anything at this point because you're in an internal location of a hospital in the dark, and there are 30 civilians separating Lena, Reverend Marcus, and Wade at the front of the group from Officer Reyes and Professor Darnell at the back of the group. Needless to say, the instant the group sees the lizard men behind you, there are screams, and the 30-person group begins to push forwards anyway. So, very quickly, we're in a standard scene. Yeah, it never ceases to do this. Never ceases to do it. The dramatic line on the drama card. Oh no! It's a standard scene. Oh, and we get a surge as well, so we can remind everyone what that does. So, the villains go first. Now, Officer Reyes doesn't get a go this go because she is surprised.
Oh.
Professor Darnell, however, does. So is Professor Darnell doing anything as the front lizard, the frontodynos, thrusts his living spear towards your beating chest?
All right.
You can try to
dodge.
actively dodge if you wish.
Yes.
Is anybody, just before we do this, oh, by the way, don't forget, Professor Darnell, you have Tenacious. Sorry, not Tenacious, that's not what you want. You have Alert. What's it called? It's your perk.
No, Tenacious.
No, Tenacious is, but there's one which you've got which lets you put cards into your pool straight away. Situational awareness.
All right.
So before the Dinos does anything, would you like to put a card from your hand into your action pool? Because you can.
Because I can. So let's see. I quickly need to check my cards.
Alertness probably wouldn't help. Glory might help if you get a particularly good roll. Master Plan could be useful. Willpower could be useful. Transfer, probably not at the minute.
Can I discard a card from my hand? Nemesis 45.
If you wish to, yeah, you can. That's a plot that you not. Do you not want to use it?
No, I don't want an enemy. I just want to get the possibility and get a new card to replace. Yeah.
Master Plan.
Why have you got 6 cards?
Because I dragged and dropped it when you were speaking to me when I was trying to.
Okay. Right. So you want a card other than Nemesis. Okay, so get rid of Nemesis. I think you can have the bonus possibility for that, for it not applying at this moment in time.
Yep.
And instead you get Seize Initiative.
Oh, I've got 2 season initiatives.
Oh, I dragged it as well as you did. I'll delete it. Don't worry.
Let's go.
So are any of us surprised?
Well, at the moment, as I said, the difficulty you have is between you and what's going on at the back are 30 panicked civilians at this moment in time. So the first you will know of anything, you might be able to work your way through them, but certainly for the first couple of combat rounds, you've got to deal with the fact you don't know what's going on at the back. You'll just hear some cries and screams, and then a whole crowd of bodies begins to try and push past you. But we'll deal with that when it occurs.
And I can't play a card just out of my hand?
Not yet. This is the only reason that Professor Darnell can do this is because he's got a perk which enables him to start a combat with a card in his action pool.
Okay.
Cousin cards.
My one, because it says discard to get something.
All right, I take the card Glory into
Cool.
action.
So you've got that ready just in case. You've got enough people to tell the story if you do indeed get a glory result. So at the moment, one of the lizards is thrusting its spear towards you.
Okay, so I do a dodge.
So generate a bonus number, roll again and add.
So that's
So 13, so bonus number 1, which is the minimum you can get. You can't get worse than that unless somebody's played a Cosm card called Best Defense.
7.
You can do Cosm cards whenever. You don't have to go into your pool.
I think I'll play mine then.
Okay, I have dodge. Well, I dodged with 9, so I have dodge 1.
Okay, so that adds to your dodge skill. So you've got your dodge defense, well, it's actually on your unarmed defense because have you got a melee weapon on you at the moment or not?
No.
And then add 1 to your unarmed in defense. Noted, Badger, you've played Lost Treasure. Understood.
Work with the GM.
Don't worry, I'll tell you what that is shortly. Okay, so the Beast Rider.
I only have 1 shock and 1 wound left.
Your shock would have recovered. Your wounds would not have.
No, I healed everyone for 1 wound with my card right at the end of the.
You did indeed, yes. So you should have 1 wound less than you've got.
Which is why we've got an extra possibility than we should have.
Yeah.
And shock is recovered by.
Shock recovered quite quickly. Yeah, it recovers within minutes.
To the maximum of 8.
To your maximum, which is your spirit. Some of you might have a perk that gives you a +2, but it's your spirit normally. Okay, so he thrusts his spear towards you, getting a total of melee weapon 7. So you dart backwards. Obviously, your movement is making it a bit difficult. The lighting's quite strange because the only lighting is coming from your mobile phone. So every time Professor Darnell moves at the back, the light like skips and moves across, and shadows play over everything, which is making it quite difficult to see what's going on. Officer Reyes, you get stabbed at as well, but you are currently surprised. So
What's happening?
means you can't do an active defense.
So he just stabs me?
No, he still gets to attack you. So you're not. You've still got your basic defense, but you can't improve it. So the spear lunges at you out of the darkness for a 14. What's your either melee or unarmed combat defense?
They're both 11.
Okay, so he certainly hits you, but not enough to get any bonus damage. So we are looking at strength 12 damage against your toughness. What is Officer Reyes' toughness? Assuming that you've taken... Did Officer Reyes take the Kevlar vest?
He did.
So please add that to your toughness.
I don't know what that adds to my toughness because
It's
we
a
didn't
4.
get them stats. A 4, so it's... I put this in the defenses itself?
Yeah, no, 'cause you can add it to your toughness, yeah. So
Okay.
you've got under your defenses, one of them is toughness. So
Okay,
you can...
I'm now 12.
Okay, so it hits you square in the chest, and you're convinced that that would have been a lot worse, but it has knocked the wind out of you. You take 2 shock.
So hard, so... I forgot this goes back to...
Yep, it costs the value you're going to. So a 1 to a 2 is in fact 2 XP. Now I noticed, Gaz, you were asking about how is Maelstrom help?
Yeah, I don't. It just stops us playing possibilities.
But it also stops the bad guy playing.
Oh yeah, I
So-
got that.
In a combat against mooks,
What's
such as
the
this
other half
one,
mean though? Sorry. Like what from eternity shards or darkness devices?
including travel
thread.
via dim thread. Those are strange and esoteric terms that your characters have not yet been exposed to. Eternity shards are physical manifestations of possibility energy. So you guys are a connection between reality and the living. Okay? So you're a individual, you're a living thing. The same energy can coalesce into unliving things and essentially create things called eternity shards. So these are items that have reality affecting abilities themselves. Certain things like Excalibur would be an eternity shard. The Holy Grail would be an eternity shard. Okay? One of the things they do is they have their own pool of possibilities that you can draw from, but they'll also have an ability. Darkness devices are bad guy things, and dim threads are bad guy things. However, we are now having to deal with the fact that the hero line has come up with a surge. So one of those all too familiar pulses of the local reality trying to assert itself goes through. Well done, Officer Reyes.
Ignore it.
Yep, well done. So Officer Reyes disconnects, but because she has the Realm Runner perk, she ignores it. Can everyone else please roll a d20 except for Lena? Okay, well done. Now you do note, and you've seen it before, so it's becoming familiar now, the pulse of reality, there is a visible change to your environment as the pulse goes around as well. It's not just you that it's affecting. This is causing certain areas of the vicinity to change as well. This might be as little as the pipes that are in the toilet that Lena just closed the door to corrode and rust, and one of them bursts, and there's now water pooling up in that room. The walls, the paint begins to flake. One section of the wall, the paint's getting so flecked now, it almost looks like it's actually stone. You think it might be. It may have transformed to that big a degree. But you personally and individually managed to shake off the effects of the surge. Professor Darnell, what are you doing?
Good question. I try to get to safety somehow.
You're in a narrow corridor. Officer Reyes is with you. There are 2 Adinos the way you came, who are in melee with you. There's a bit more space behind you because that crowd of people is already pushing away from you. There's another toilet door, probably the one that Lena didn't investigate. So you could retreat into the forbidden realm of the ladies' toilet.
Okay. Yeah, I will do this. I will retreat there, and I go for my gun,
Okay, problem at all.
and I point it at the door.
So you seek cover. Just roll me a d6. Okay, I was saying to myself, if it's odd, you push the door, it opens, you go in, but the door's not closing, it's stuck. You look up, and the actual wall itself appears to have either subsided slightly, or it could be the fact that there's a massive sort of like fist-thick vine is now growing across the lintel of the door. So you're in, you've got cover, but the door's not closing behind you. So you've pulled the door, you've pulled the gun out, and you're holding it towards the dark, cavernous opening of the door in the corridor.
All right.
Okay, no one else gets to act this round because of surprise and the impact. The rest of you that are at the front, the people behind you have started surging forwards, and there's cries of alarm and shock. But that's all you've really got at the moment.
Do we get to drag our
It's
card
uncanny,
across
isn't it?
even though I missed my turn?
It is. It's working now.
No, because you didn't do anything. You didn't get to do anything.
Okay, so I don't get a card. Okay,
But Professor Darnell, you can put another card into your pool.
because I thought, oh, I did defend.
But yeah, so the people at the front are indeed, you're getting pushed backwards by this sea of humanity, these 30 or so bodies that are just trying to push past you. But the heroes do get to go first, so decide amongst yourselves in which order you wish to act.
What does flurry
Means they get 2 goes.
Okay, I don't like that card.
Ooh, that sounds like a good.
Can I
situation.
taunt somehow from where I am, or am I too far away?
The difficulty here is you'd be taunted. I mean, you could try, but you'll be at a minus because you'll be trying to taunt through a 30-person strong panicked mob.
Well, trying to push through them as well. So I'm sort of like pushing my way through, trying to work out what's going on. I wouldn't get through, I don't think, but
Well, you can try both. You're going to be in multi-action because to push through, you're going to be making a maneuver check.
yeah, I think I probably wouldn't be taunted because I don't know what I'm taunting. So I'll just try and I'm trying to push my way through. Or
All you can be certain of at the moment is that something's going on, and it's at the back of the crowd to have spooked these people.
actually, I'm gonna look at who's at the front. I'll look at them both as though.
Your mum and Marcus.
What do we do? Do we run with them, or do we go back and see? So yeah, I'll look to them to see to take the lead. Actually,
Okay, so you're allowing somebody else to go first, and you're going to react to their lead. Okay, so Lena and Reverend Marcus. The young Wade is looking to the 2 of you to act and see what he should do.
Right. I think the Reverend will sort of just step out of the way as much as possible and try to sort of I don't know, wave people along to make them sort of move a bit more
Okay,
quickly.
so general loud-voiced, calm guidance.
Yeah. I don't know what you could do against the.
Well, if you want to do that, that can act as an assist. I'll let you do a sort of a leadership or persuasion style role. If you get a standard, a good, or an extraordinary success, then it's going to make it easier for anybody to move through the. Right. Okay. Again.
Can't make it worse than me.
Yeah, can't make it worse. You could, but I'm not letting you.
I don't turn around and see a gibbering wreck, do I? When I look at the Rev, it's just
No, but he is not. He is not his usual erudite self. He seems to be shaken, and he doesn't know what he needs to do in this situation. His words are going unheeded.
Mum, what do we do? Mum, do we need to get out of here, or do we turn back? What do we do?
Lena, it appears to be down to you.
Pass the book.
Words
Well,
have failed, and the youth are looking towards their elders for guidance.
Afraid so.
I'm
I'm only
actually
16.
fairly beaten up at the moment. Did I heal any of those, John?
Wade healed everybody one through a playing of a Cosm card, which was I think the power of life.
How many?
But there is a. So how many wounds were you away for? I mean, your shocks got all come back.
Okay.
So it's only wounds you're worried about.
And I've got 3 wounds. Oh,
Which is fine. You're unwounded at the moment.
I'm unwounded. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you go down. Essentially, if you hit 0 wounds, that's when you test for defeat.
All right. So how many of these baddies are there?
Well, at the moment, you don't know. You've got the group of civilians that you're with have panicked and are surging towards you. So if you want to get to the back of the group, you've got to fight your way through. Not literally fight. These are civilians. They're on your side. But you'll have to struggle your way through.
Okay. What I'd like to do then is, I presume the ceiling has got those little squares that you kind of pop out.
It looks to have remnants of some of them, but the effect of the incursion of the living land reality has probably,
Oh, the vines.
by now, most of them have dropped out, and you can see that all of the trunking and the conduits and the cable that would otherwise have comprised the infrastructure of the hospital is
fantastic. That's just what I wanted.
But it's all become like vines and tangled.
Even better. Okay, I'm going to leap up and grab onto the vines and wires and use them all the same, and Tarzan my way over to the above all the charging people, all the panic people, heading towards the crowds, heading towards the back of them.
Okay, give me that will be a maneuver. What you can do, if you can get a decent success on the maneuver, then you'll be able to move without, I'm going to say, along with whatever else you want to do. If you get a really good success, you'll be able to move and still act. But
I presume this is going to be a dex thing, is it? Or...
maneuver is based off of dexterity, yes.
Okay, so
Don't have the skill, it's just dex.
that sucks
That's a
at the moment.
-4.
Yeah, I'm not standing for that because I want to do this because it's fun. So I'm going to spend another possibility if I may.
Yep. It's up to you. No one's countering it, that's all you need to know. So that puts you up to a 22, which is a bonus number of 8.
Plus my dex of 9 gives me a 17, is it?
Yep. Okay, Wade, you're like going, Mum, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Without a word to you, in almost, I'm doing a lot of Alien references today, but almost a reverse of the final stand scene where they're in the roof. Your mum literally jumps up into the darkness above you, and in the chaotic flashing of the moving mobile phone, it's almost like you get these static sort of strobe light style images of Lena just literally swinging and sort of Tarzan pulling herself over the heads of the crowd, and then she disappears into the darkness on the other side. At this point, Lena, you're now on the other side, stood next to Officer Reyes, and you can see the 2 lizard men being illuminated from the light coming from the doorway to your right.
I'll snarl at him.
Okay, but that's another target for them. Officer Reyes, you are no longer surprised, and you are brought out of your brief stunned reverie by the thunk of primitive warrior woman Lena landing to your right.
Okay, I'm going to do a long burst.
So you
Yes,
bring up the rifle
nice.
that was lying
In my hands.
and you bring it up, and I mean, they're not counting as being in melee at the moment because you're engaged with one and the other one was engaged with Professor Darnell, but he moved.
Okay, so it's just really roll dice 20, isn't it?
It is indeed. Are you attacking 1 or 2? Remember, if you're attacking both of them, then the long burst doubles the amount of ammo you'd need.
I'm only attacking 1.
Okay, so you're long bursting the one in front of you, I'm assuming?
can't roll that stupid dice. It just doesn't roll. It just drops in the.
It's all right. It's -1 at the moment.
-1.
Their dodges aren't great.
Possible. Yeah.
That's a 19. It's a bonus number of 6.
6 plus 4.
That's a 10.
10. And plus my skill, which is fire, is 13.
That's a 13. 23. That is an extraordinary success, enough to get 2 bonus dice of damage.
Okay. Okay, 16 plus whatever these damage is.
And if that's
M16 I'm using.
the M16 is a 16. Okay, so that's 8, 10. So it's a 26.
Yep.
I mean, you're firing a fully automatic weapon in an enclosed space. To say the noise is thunderous is one thing. The staccato noise of the gun is accompanied by sort of the red flare of the muzzle, again illuminating the scene in the same way that Lena's movement was strobe affected. You get a stop motion animation of this the Dinos warrior being hit full in the and just being picked up off his feet with each additional shot, just seeing him falling further back until he lies in the half shadow dead on the floor. Professor Darnell.
My card, yay.
All right. Do I have any foe in sight?
You can do. I mean, you're getting partial cover from within inside the toilet. You've just seen the gun muzzle flare of the officer's rifle going off, and you can relatively easily remaneuver yourself with the phone. You're sort of holding the phone up against the gun. You know how they normally do it with the little torches along the gun barrel, but you're doing it with your phone. And you can go around the corner and you can see, and you can get a line on the one that went to stab at you.
All right.
It looks quite macabre, this thing with the daubed red in patterns. It's actually, there's a lot of red daubed over its face and sort of like in diamond patterns on its arms and chest.
All right. I just go in and pull the trigger.
Pistol.
Revolver. I'm a man in twist style. Okay, so what do I need to roll?
Just roll 1d20 and it's fire combat. You don't have any 5 onto your dex.
5 on my dex is 12.
Okay, versus his dodge. You're going to hit, I can tell you that for now. If you want to, you can spend a possibility or do anything else. You should have 2 cards in your pool at the moment because you did
Yeah, right.
in the first round. Not sure any of them will help you.
I will move the transfer just in case.
Okay, but a 12 is enough to hit. It won't do any bonus damage though. If you want to do bonus damage, you're going to have to spend a possibility to roll again or anything else.
Sure. I will spend. So I roll another d20, right?
You do indeed, and add it to your 18. That's a 31, giving you a bonus number of 10. That's 17, which is enough to get 1 bonus dice of damage because you get a good success. You draw a bead on the creature and just gently squeeze, calmly remembering what gun training you had, you calmly squeeze the trigger on the exhale. Bang. So you're going to do your pistol damage, which you should have somewhere.
Pistol damage.
It says 12 on there.
12. Yeah. So
it's up to you how you distribute the rifles from the Brank guys. There were 5. Yep. And then you roll 1d10, 1d6, sorry, to add to that. It's not a d12, that's d12 or damage 12.
What?
So you got a bonus dice of damage because of your successful hit. So roll 1d6.
Okay, 1d6.
And add 1.
Great.
So that's a 13. It's not enough to take it down. You draw your bead, you release, and the bullet does hit, but it's like the creature's scaly skin is almost like a natural bulletproof vest. You can see the bullet dig in, but it doesn't do any significant, but it does like, oof, as it seems to be pushed back slightly by the hit. Wade, are you doing anything after your mother's impressive feat of gymnastics.
I'm going to see the wave of people charging headlessly down, and I'm going to see the Reverend looking a bit blank and lost and bewildered, and I think I'm going to try and sort of reining the horde. So I'm going to follow them and
Okay.
try not to lose anyone, basically. So
Okay, are you trying to calm them down at the same time, or are
yeah,
you
it's
just trying?
I suppose I don't know what's behind us, do I? So don't want to calm them down if somebody's about to kill them.
Well, you're trying to keep them together. I mean, you're the one at the
Yeah,
front
I
with
want
the
to keep them
light.
together. That's what I'm trying to do. Is
Yes,
keep
you
them
do. You
together.
always, as long as you have a go, you always get to move a card over.
Yeah. So
Okay, give us a persuasion check. I know you don't have it, so it's just off your spirit. I'm going to give you a +1 bonus though, because you are holding the light. That's a 3. Spirit. Oh no, charisma. What am I talking about? Persuasion. Charisma.
same thing for me. So it's +3. Did you say +1?
Yep.
So 11.
That's good. Difficult numbers are 10. No one's moving any less frantically than they were, but you do sense there is now a purpose. People are moving while and in the direction that you're moving.
Well, I've also grabbed the Reverend sort of thing as we're going.
Yeah, no problem. As long as you're okay with that, Badger.
I'm under him.
Yeah.
Reverend Marcus to be. I mean, he's not disabled. He's not in any way disabled. He just wasn't able to bring his force of personality to bear this once.
Just keep his wits with him.
Cool. Okay. Everyone's had their go. Or everyone's attempted stuff. The villains go. The remaining Adinos warrior, seeing the thunder stick take down the warrior that he was with, his companion, he's going to concentrate his attack onto the officer. So Officer Reyes, he is all out attacking you. It is not the approved action, so he's not going to get an additional bonus die. To get my own combat options card out. I've gotten used to using the ones that are in the I've got in the game now rather than the ones in the character sheet. I've lost it now. Action combat options. Total. Now all out attack, so +4 to the attack. What was your unarmed combat? Officer Reyes, what was your defense?
Looking. God, it's way down there. 11.
Okay, well, he hits you because they've got melee weapons of 11 and he got a bonus number of nothing. Oh, no, you can. It's been more than a minute. The dex buff would have worn off by now.
I forgot about the dex buff last time. I haven't been using it.
Okay, so he's not rolling any bonus dice for damage, so it's the standard damage of strength of 12 on the heroic spear, so another 2 shock as it rams the butt of the spear across your side. The Kevlar vest seems to take the brunt of it. But it then rights itself, so it's no longer open, and it thrusts a precise strike with its spear towards you again. This time it's not on an all-out attack. As it is skilled. Okay, the preciseness of its strike is quite uncanny as it punches through a gap in the Kevlar, for want of a better term. You're still going to get the armor, it's just descriptive. With a melee weapons total of 22 versus your dodge, your unarmed combat of 11, yeah? So that's 2 bonus dice of damage. So 20, that's 8 result points, so that's 1 wound and another 2 shock. As unless you take steps to prevent that from happening, the spear point sinks into the soft flesh that's just available between where the Kevlar vest joins up on the left-hand side.
I have no idea how to do that. Stop that. So I'm taking.
Well,
possibility.
you can spend a possibility, if you wish to soak it. If you wish to,
Okay, I'll do it.
that will mean making a reality skill check. You need a 10. If you get a 15, you soak more. If you get a 20, you soak even.
If it's a reality check, I'm going to get it anyway because I've got 10 reality. But here we go.
No, you could always roll lower than a 9. You didn't know, so you managed to. I mean, again, it's as if it never happened. The spear point thrusts out, and you just dart to the side, just like 3 or 4 inches to your left, and the spear passes the space that previously held your delicate innards, but not anymore. Next combat round. Oh, no, that's not right. That's a drama card. I keep doing that. Hang on, I need to put Lucky Break back because that's a useful one that you guys might like. Let's undeal that one.
It's my
Actually,
card.
No, that's not right. That's. Have I got a. I appear to have. I think I've got one of the images mixed up.
Because that's my card. I can see it. It's got my picture in it. It's mine. Give it to me now.
I just want to double check that because I think that's might have cocked up one of the images. Hang on. We are looking for drama deck card.
What's a drama deck card?
Well, that's there. That shouldn't be that one. Lucky Break. It's in the wrong one. Okay, I'll have to sort that one out later. Not to worry. Let's get a different one. Okay. That looks very much Indiana Jones in that image. You give up ground. So we're still in a standard scene. Approved actions are now defend. So if you choose to defend and are successfully defend, you will get a drama card, a destiny card from the destiny deck. However, the villains go first and the heroes are fatigued. We'll deal with that. Essentially, everybody gets 2 shots.
I want to ask you a question before you do this.
Yep.
I've got Seize Initiative.
Yes.
Does that mean I can change that card?
Have you got Seize Initiative in your
Yes.
action pool?
Yep.
Then if you can, then you can choose either to retain the last one, or I think you can make me draw again.
Draw again I want to do. I don't want the last one.
Okay. Okay, fine. Go ahead and discard Seize Initiative. You've just used it. Probably a good one, because obviously it's about to double check. Certain armor, such as some people are now wearing, if you are wearing relatively heavy armor, when there's a fatigue result on the initiative line, you take more than 2 shock of damage. I'm just trying to think. I think Kevlar might be one of them.
I think it's that heavy.
Ballistic Kevlar vest, torso, fatigues. Yep.
Oh, okay.
A stab vest is the lighter version. That doesn't fatigue, and a tactical armor does. And essentially, you suffer an additional shock when that result line comes up. But you are not giving up ground. Somebody's doing something else to stop that. Look out!
Well, it's good. Sort of.
Okay, firstly, you go first. However, attack is an approved action, and there is a surge. Everybody apart from Lena, please roll me 1d20. First 15. Again, there's another pulse. Doesn't look like anybody else ever notices these things. It's only you. It's only you as you think as Storm Knights that are noticing. Roll again on that one. You don't need to. It's only if you get a 1 to 4 that anything was worthwhile. But well done anyway. It's a 25. But again, the internal corridor is looking less and less now like the inside of a building, and it's starting to look more and more like an actual tunnel.
Cool.
Heroes go first. Yeah, every attempt. Yeah, you can't glory on a surge result, Alexander. It's not a skill check.
Okay. Right, I'd like
Long
to
burst
play
again.
my idea card.
You can do if you wish to.
So that presumably it will give us some idea of, just where to head.
Okay. Well, should we do your bit? Should we do Wade and the Reverend?
Okay.
Because that is exactly what you do. You suddenly realise with that last change, you've noticed that the bits that are behind you are more changed than the bits that are in front, and you start using to that your advantage. You're following on your way out with Wade's light. You're beginning to follow elements of technology that you can still see, and literally within about 8 or so seconds, you've found yourself in the back loading bay of the hospital, and with, you can't believe it, there is a yellow long, it's not a school bus, let's call it a short bus. It's the sort of it's the hospital sort of minibus, and it's got some vines over it, but it doesn't look to be in that bad a condition. Welcome to your lost treasure.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay, so meanwhile, back where the others are,
15.
to hit, that definitely hits.
It's normal damage.
No, +1 bonus dice. His dodge is 10.
Yeah.
18 versus his toughness. Okay, you were doing a short burst or just a single shot?
Long burst.
Long burst. Again, you paint the inside of what's now more like a tunnel in your eyes with the red and white muzzle flare, and the Adynos takes like 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets, and then keeps coming, and then the 5th bullet hits it like square in the face, and it just stumbles backwards and collapses. You suddenly find yourselves, it's quiet, and there are no more combatants around. The only light you currently have is coming from the ladies' toilet. Professor Darnell, you can come out. We're going to leave your cards in place at the minute, because you realise that the group's left you behind.
I'd
You
try
can't.
to catch up.
You can put a card into your pool for that. In
No,
fact,
Can I have
Lena-
a card?
Oh,
though?
of course you would. You'd attack. You did an approved action, didn't you? Well reminded. You get
Ooh, I've never had this one.
play to draw a Cosm card.
Oh, I can do that right now?
You can do it right now. Essentially,
I
you're in
will.
I don't want you to put your cards. Actually, no. Let's do it properly. Yeah, combat ends. All action cards back into your hand. I don't think anyone's going to have any issues with having too many, because cards. Now, this is the only time you'll ever have 2 Cosm cards if you've already got one. The Law of Life.
Heal.
You catch up within short order. It takes you about 30, 45 seconds.
Can
Because
we play this one?
which one?
The Law of Life.
He can do. Well, you
I did.
could do. You're not really in a restful sight, but if you want to play it, we can go ahead and do so, and I'll
I did,
make it
because
work in a minute.
I want my wound back. Oh, I didn't get a wound. Wait a minute. I'm not playing that.
Yeah, you're not winded.
Forget that card. We'll stop playing.
And if you only get 1 wound, it's probably better to have someone else look at it first. Because that one
Yeah,
heals
I
everyone,
didn't
doesn't
play
it?
that card because I forgot I didn't get wounded, so there's no point in playing it. Someone got wounded in that thing.
You catch up with the group. By this point, guys, Wade and the Reverend have basically managed to load everyone onto the minibus.
It'll be a pretty big minibus to get 30 people in it.
Yeah, you managed to crowd a lot of people in. They're not sitting comfortably. They're all in it. It is crowded, and it's pretty cramped.
If we want to, we can tie them to the outside, so if anything of them and not the bus, you know. That was
Hang on, I'm just trying to
No.
find something.
not my character saying that. That was me.
Yeah, good.
start the thing.
Who's our best person at mechanical devices? Me!
Well, I mean, has anyone got land?
I've got land vehicles, 11. So,
I
unless
think
you've
you're
got
the best
better than
driver then.
11. That's why I said it
Um,
was me. Here we go. Ready to roll, because I'm rolling brilliantly today. I'll roll.
I guess maybe we'll have Wade drive.
Plus my land vehicle, which is 11, that's 15. Oh no,
Okay.
that's 20, isn't it? Sorry, that's 20. That's plus 7. That's 18. Forgot the second roll's a 10.
No, it wasn't a possibility, so it's not a 10.
Oh, it's only a 17.
Yeah, it's a 17. If it's just a re-roll, it doesn't count as a 10.
Oh, okay, it's a 4 plus 11,
You've
15.
crowded everyone into this minibus. As I said, you've got people crammed in. The sort of the mini central aisle is in there as well. This looks to be the sort of thing that would normally carry about 20 people at most, so you've crammed a lot more people in. Lena, are you riding inside or outside?
I think outside.
So
I'll
Lena's
hang
holding
on
onto
to
the roof. Officer Reyes, there are no keys in here, so the main issue with the roll was to essentially you again, you've probably been trained for this, or in your, I think Officer Reyes was a bit of a tearaway in her youth, so you pull away the stock and get your small knife out, pair off, and pull the wires together, and you gun the thing into life. It's a nice American style stick shift, so it's all on the actual steering column. So you push it into first, begin to pull around. You pull out onto the road.
I think it's
And
a
then
good plan.
To your right, you've got a choice of left or right. And your decision is pretty much made for you when there is a thunderous roar to your right.
Let's go right.
Yeah, but what direction? I mean, where is?
I don't want to go towards that thing. I want to go away from that
I'm
thing.
just wondering.
And I know a fact. I watched Jurassic Park. They run fast in a straight line, but they're terrible at turning corners.
No, you can flee from them wearing high.
That's the more recent version.
Yeah.
The large,
But I'm not wearing high
angry
heels.
looking dinosaur, we'll call it a Tyrannosaurus Rex for now, is about 80. Essentially, it's just turned the corner at the corner of the block where the hospital is. You're coming out of the back of the block, so it's about half a block away, and it's just done the whole Tyrannosaur roar that it does. People scream, and Officer Reyes floors and turns the wheel quite heavily to the left, I'm assuming.
Oh, well, you said there was only one direction, so the
Well,
direction
you could go left or right, and I'm assuming you're not driving towards the T-Rex.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that.
You could do if you
I
wanted
said
to.
I wasn't. Stop making me do stuff. By the way, these people with the booming big guns, why aren't they shooting them? I give them guns.
Well, they might do in a minute.
You'd never expect it if we charged it.
Yeah, but they didn't even shoot at the two dinosaurs who were ripping us to shreds, lazy people.
That's because they were running in the other direction. The guns were at the front of the group. Right, so you begin heading away, but you can hear the thing behind you. Its giant clawed feet thumping on what remains of New York's tarmac roadway. It's quite difficult because the roads are in no good condition at this point. You've got growths coming out of them. They're cracked, they're broken, there are wrecked vehicles. So essentially, we're going to go back into combat rounds. Dependent on Officer Reyes's drive or ground vehicles check each round, things may occur.
You know this realm roller? I've used it. That's for the whole game today. That's gone as
I
well.
believe it's once per act.
So this act I can use it
So,
again.
well, no, because you're in. It's the same act.
Oh, that's what I was asking. Okay.
Let's double check.
I'm not sure what act.
Yeah, the first time it happens in each act. So we're in scene 1,
Okay.
act 3.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, nice little thing. Can everybody please make me a spirit check or willpower if you have it?
I've used a puzzle. I'm so low in bloody.
Difficulty is a 10 because there's no other difficulty listed.
Yeah, I got it.
That's a 13.
13, 1. It's
Sorry.
5. I used the possibility.
I thought you might have done. Lena, you're rolling off of a 7. Are you spending a possibility?
Can I spend an action card?
You can. Yeah, because we'd sort of. Yeah, okay. Slightly out of combat because this is when it roars before combat begins.
Okay, I'll just spend a possibility then, it's no drama.
Okay. Because the roar of the Tyrannosaur is a chilling. Did anybody not get at least a 10?
I've got a 10 now.
A total of 10, that's what you needed. Essentially, the teeth and the roar trigger instinctive terror. If you fail the test, and it can do this every time it roars, you become very stymied. So -4 to anything you're doing.
They were dramatic or standard here.
And when the mighty Tyrannosaur is present, any standard scene immediately becomes a dramatic scene. It literally turns it into one.
Sorry,
However, you guys go first. Something has set back him, and somebody's asking a question.
I think I messed that up. So my spirit's 8, I had -2 on the first roll, puts it as a 6.
So that's a 7.
Then I rolled a 10.
So which changes that first 7 to a 17, which will give you a bonus number of 4 instead.
Got you. Yeah, I've got 12 then. That's cool. Thank you.
And you'd keep rolling on the 10 as well, but we don't worry. You've made it at that point.
Do you want to see me drive before we do anything to see how bad it is?
We do want to see you drive before we do anything. Now, essentially, you'll be making against its essentially running check or its maneuver. It is currently 2 successes behind you.
This, because I'm doing a drive, is this class as a maneuver for the card?
You can elect, the drive check is separate, but you can elect to drive erratically and sacrifice the drive check for a maneuver check instead. But essentially, if you're maneuvering the bus, you aren't doing enough to keep away from the T-Rex. So it's a risk. Yes, you would get a card for a maneuver, and you can maneuver the T-Rex to give it minuses, but you won't be outrunning it in that round.
Well, I'm not going to outrun it with that roll anyway, so I might as well do the maneuver.
Okay, so that's on a 0. Your difficulties are only 10s at this point. What's your drive total?
11.
Okay, so you've just...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it is 11. Sorry, I was reading the wrong one. Okay, it says 11.
So it's going to make its maneuver test at the same time.
Hey, before anyone does anything, I think I might want to cast the blessing.
Okay, I'm just doing the maneuver at the front of the combat round, and it is set back this round.
14, which puts me up.
What's the
Describe what
blessing?
happens to it.
That's been a possibility of that.
Oh God, no.
If you can get 6 successes ahead of it, then you've effectively lost it.
24.
24, which put 8. So yeah, that's a 21. So everyone gets +2 to their dexterity.
For how long?
1 minute, so that's, I don't know.
Yeah, if you got at least a 20, then that's 6 combat rounds.
Oh, can you please remind me about Dex for
Yep,
+2.
we'll do that for everybody.
I keep on forgetting.
Okay, so you managed to you haven't got much speed up yet, but you managed to avoid any of the larger pieces of detritus and rubbish and rubble in the road, staying onto some of the more compressed areas of tarmac that haven't decayed too much. You can still see the thing in your rearview mirror. This doesn't have the big things in the mirror, might appear larger than they are because it's one of those big, long side mirrors, very similar to the one that the professor was using as a club 3 sessions ago.
Oh.
So you see, as you're pulling away, it turns, begins to get up speed towards you, and then something comes barreling out of the wall of a bit of the hospital and just barrel rolls into the Tyrannosaur. Where essentially a Triceratops has just come out of the hospital, just off to one side, not the main building, but sort of like where there's a wall to the car park, and the two collide. So it knocks the T-Rex over, and the trike is looking confused, and there appears to be a lizard man on its back yelling at it, but you can't particularly tell what it's saying. So the T-Rex is set back this round, so it's not actually getting an attack on you. What are the rest of you doing from within the or upon the bus?
Shoot. Or trick it.
Where did I get my maneuver then?
Does it have like a back window or door or something that can?
It can have. There are windows you could blast out. I keep doing that. It's the wrong one. That's your card, supporter, not breakthrough.
Is there such a thing as a ready action?
Let's find out.
The professor just sits tight and grabs onto his seat.
Okay.
Sure you don't want to shoot? Oh, yeah.
There is a wait action. Sometimes a character in combat needs to hold her action. If she's prepared, she can anticipate and even interrupt her enemies. On her action, a player may declare her character is waiting. She can then take her action during the other side's initiative at -2 penalty. This carries over from one round to the next until the character acts. If she wants to interrupt an opponent, she must say so after the game's master has announced the foe's action, but before he rolls any dice to determine the result. Contest of dexterity, see who acts first, and then the interrupted character generates a total, then the interrupted one, including the -2. And yep, so you can.
All right.
But you can't play Destiny cards into your pool when waiting, but you get to play a card once you've acted. Play a card into your pool once you've acted.
That's fine.
Okay, because it is a dramatic scene at the moment, so chances are it might get an action before you guys do. So what's Wade doing? Lena's obviously acting, waiting, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just, if it comes close, I'm going to bat it, is what I'm doing. Standing on top of the buzz.
I'm going to attempt to shoot through the back window.
It's not a problem. You loose off a couple of rounds and the window shatters, because it's not one that can be pulled down. But you've now got a clear shot at the thing. It is very large. It's about 18 meters long. So you're getting a +4 bonus.
Right, roll 20. D20.
Can't believe they're giving this thing stealth 10. Goes tippy toe.
It could be camouflage, I guess. If it's hiding.
17 is a +4.
Add another 4 to that
Get a
because of
+4,
its
so
size.
it's +8. It's fire combat.
Yeah, and you didn't say you're doing anything other than single shot, so no bonuses.
No, yeah. Fire combat's dexterity, but I get a +2 as well for that. So it's 8, 12, 8, 10, 11, 22.
Okay, so you get an extraordinary success, so 2 bonus dice because its dodge is only 10.
Yes. And 20.
20 against its toughness. Nice. You bring up the gun and you you fire, and the thing just seems to stand up and resume chasing. You certainly hit it.
I'll point to the professor as though it was the professor who did it. Here is him. Hurt me.
It's not like you've got a smoking gun in your hand or anything.
You get a second chance card. Now, we've just run out of cards in the deck, so I'm going to have to refresh the deck. And can everyone quickly, one at a time, because I've got to do this manually. When I reset the deck, it brings all the cards back in, so I need to know what ones you've got. So if we can start with Reverend Marcus, can you tell me what cards you've got so I can just mark them as used?
Master Plan 19, Rally 29, Season Initiative.
They're not in alphabetical order. Hang on. Master Plan 19. So I suppose it matters. I'll get rid of Master Plan 18. They're both the same. Yep. Next one.
Rally 29.
Come on. Rally 29. Yep.
Season Initiative 22. If that matters. The number probably doesn't.
It does if I can't find one. Where's Season Initiative gone? Season Initiative, yeah.
Yeah.
And any others?
Willpower.
Willpower. Okay, next is Professor Darnell.
All right. Perhaps I should.
No, I need to know. I need to know your cards. I've got to. You can go again in a minute, but I need to knock the cards off of the deck that you've still got. We've just worked our way through the Destiny deck.
I have Law of Decay.
That's the Cosm card. I need to know the other ones.
Okay, Alert 10.
Cool. Alertness. Any alertness. Any old alertness. Come on, where you gone? This is one of the things I wish we could automate at this point.
Then I have Glory 37.
Alertness 10. Any old glory. Yep.
Master Plan 18.
Yep.
Transfer 58.
Okay, that's going to be the awkward one because I think there's only one transfer card in the deck. And there are 80 cards. Transfer 58. Cool. Next
And
would...
Willpower
and Willpower. Willpower. 1. Okay, Officer Reyes?
I have got coup de grace, 3 of them.
So we've got 3 coup de grace. Okay. That probably gets rid of all of the coup de grace in the deck. Yep, it does.
Supporter 54.
Yep.
Second chance 30, and that's the last one.
Cool. Lena.
Sorry. Alertness 9.
Alertness.
You just say that while yawn.
Alertness.
Yeah.
Yeah, next one.
Connection 33. It's been a long day. Leave me alone. I was up at like pre-dawn.
I'll note your drama card as well. I've already dealt with that one. Connection. Come on, where are you?
Connection 33. Willpower 5. I've actually got 2 drama cards, one in my hand and one.
Okay, so drama card 46 as well as 48, yeah?
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Willpower, yeah?
Willpower 5.
Okay, Wade.
Action 12.
Yep.
Adrenaline 2 and Adrenaline 4.
Load of adrenaline.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. It feels right though with these monsters being thrown next.
Okay, is that all of them?
Drama 49.
No.
No, I got 3 more.
Drama and what others?
Maelstrom 60. And the one you just gave me, Second Chance 31.
Second chance. And my... Okay, hopefully we won't have to do that again. or not this evening anyway. Right, so yeah, the T-Rex is getting up from being down. Professor, were you going to do anything?
Yeah, I think I will also shoot it.
Okay.
With the M16 or because you've got one
No,
of
with
those.
my revolver.
Yeah, but you've probably got the rifle as well. Like we do have enough rifles to give one for everyone.
All right, if there is one around, that I can. Now, no, the professor won't shoot the rifle.
Come on, it's much.
The good thing the professor isn't firing the rifle, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's firing somewhere else.
A
Now
shot
we have-
goes wide.
Now we have a hole in the roof.
Yeah, you went over to the same point that Wade was shooting through, and yeah, very, very nearly made it a bit dangerous for Wade. Ah.
I don't like a card called TORG because it sounds like
That does sound ominous in the game called TORG.
Oh,
Well,
confused.
on day one, it's not really appropriate because you haven't encountered any of the High Lords just yet, and you won't have had a chance to involve yourselves in their machinations just yet. But still, it's a dramatic thing.
Possible setback.
Yeah, that's for dramatic. We're not actually. Oh, sorry, that's for dramatic skill resolution, which we're not actually in right now.
Okay.
If we get there this session, we will be doing a dramatic skill resolution, but this isn't one of. But the villains go first, and in this instance, the T-Rex gets up. It just like bites at the Triceratops and like, briefly wrestles with its carapace, and then releases it and begins charging towards you. So what I would need now, please, is from Officer Reyes. We need your drive skill check, please. Its maneuver is a total of a 14. What's the drive skill total?
9.
Okay, so it narrows to 2 successes. Now it's only its narrative at this point, but it's still 2 successes behind you. But that is enough. I'm going to say just purely so it can actually attack. It is enough for the thing to take a bite. So you've gone barreling around the corner, thinking you've left the thing behind, and then as you come up straight road, you're driving along. You see one of those alleyways, and the thing just comes bursting out of the alleyway and barrels full body into the side of the minibus. So it's going to take an attack at the minibus.
Ooh. No, for a
Lucky.
fact, minibuses fall over.
Okay. Oh, roll the dice.
I did. It's only a 4. But you're going to try and interrupt it, aren't you?
Yeah, I want to. Now it's close to me. I want to stab it.
Okay, go for it. We just make a quick test of dexterity. And the person what wins goes first. It gets a bonus number of 0 onto its dex of 9. You get a bonus number of 0 onto your dex of...
9.
Your dex is 9 as well.
Yeah.
yeah, that's 2, right?
Who breaks the tie? Is it defender?
Oh, but you are, yes, you're correct. You are getting a divine +2 from the Reverend Marcus.
Is that a +2 onto the die or onto the end?
That's onto your dexterity stat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
By the way, that means my thing was too higher. My drive.
That's all right.
Maneuver.
It'll be
Okay. Because I told everyone to remind me. Didn't.
Okay, so as the giant body of the terrible lizard comes into view, Lena rises from her crouched position of relative stability on top of the careening yellow rock and attacks the mighty beast. I will point out to you that defend and taunt are the approved actions this round.
Yeah, but
You are confused, however. Can everyone remember what confused on the initiative line meant?
I'm confused. Oh, no. Sorry.
I'm confused what you're talking about, so no.
Basically, you can play cards into your pool, but you can't play any cards from your pool. So you can contribute to your pool this round, but you can't use cards from your pool this round because you are confused. Okay.
All right, no worries. Well, I don't care. This guy is gonna get. I'm gonna stab it really hard.
Don't forget your relentless perk if you wish to use it, sacrificing shock for an additional bonus dice of damage.
I do. Was it 3 shock? I think it was 3, wasn't it?
It would be 3 shock, yes.
Okay. So
And your usual all-out attack, I'm assuming, is what you're doing.
Oh yes. Snarling.
Ooh,
So +4 to your melee attack, but you will be very vulnerable. So that's currently a 9, gives you a -1.
That's no.
You can still spend possibilities this round.
I can't spend any of my cards though.
But you
can
can't
I?
use cards this round.
And he might hit me, in which case I'm going to need my possibility. Oh, I think I'm just going to end up missing it. So what's that anyway? 9 gives me minus.
Well, you're getting a +4 for the all-out attack, and you're getting a +4 because it's very large. So you're at a +8 before you
Okay.
even roll the dice.
Oh.
So your 9 takes it down to a 7. So what's that plus your melee weapons?
9 takes it down to a 7. Why? Oh, the
Because
bonus.
the bonus gives you a -1.
Sorry, I see. Yes. So melee weapon 3 plus my. Oh no, I keep forgetting. Is it strength
Dex.
or dex?
No, Dex.
Yeah, so 12
+7.
plus 7 gives me a 19.
19 versus its unarmed combat of 12 is enough to give you 1 bonus die of damage. So you certainly hit it. You're getting a bonus dice from your relentless, so roll 2 bonus dice of damage. 2 additional d6 on this roll.
You're going down.
You got a 6. That's 7 so far. Roll the 6 again.
Come on. Oh.
That's 10. That's a 22, I believe, for your damage. Yeah. You got a 12 on your rock shoot spear, haven't you? 22 versus its toughness, however. You wait for you see the creature before anyone else. You're outside. You've got a different line of sight. So as it begins to burst out of the remnants of the scaffolding that was covering the side of this alleyway, trailing pieces of rusted fire escape with it. You wait until the last moment, spring, and then leap up and get your spear into the meat of the thing's neck. However, its height is obviously you've you've underestimated its height, and it's got that sort of that wattle skin underneath that your spear punctures through. But when you pull it out, there's dark red blood coming down, but you don't think you've done anything close to a mortal wound on the creature. But you certainly did hit it quite palpably.
Well, next time.
Indeed. Let me just get that one on there. And I want that.
Is there a possibility to use an active defense on a creature when you're driving a truck? The bus.
Well, it is about to attack the bus.
So I'm asking, is it possible to use an active defense?
I'm going to allow you to set the bus's active defense as your drive skill. If you wish, I mean, this will result in it gaining success on catching you because you're trying to avoid it rather than trying to outrun it. But you can make a drive skill check to increase the bus's active defense.
Okay, this is the part I don't understand. Active defense is favored for me.
Right. You can roll a d20. Anything that's favoured, after that first roll, you can elect to roll again and take the second result instead.
Okay.
So favoured is essentially if you get a 1 to 9, you might as well roll again to try and get a better roll. Like then.
Right, roll again.
Okay, 14's better.
It's 1.
So that's a bonus number 1 onto your drive. So what's your drive skill?
It's 13, so it's 14.
Okay, so the T-Rex is essentially attacking unarmed versus a 14. It rolled an 18. It's a bonus number of 5. Okay, unfortunately, it still hits. Not
Oh.
by a lot, though.
It's worth a try.
So you didn't successfully defend. You can play a card into your pool. Skellen, you can play a card into your pool as well. It barrels bodily into the side of the van or the side of the minibus. Windows shatter. It didn't do enough to get a bonus dice of damage, but it does do its base strength in damage against bus. So I'm going to take the bus, careens across the road. You manage to get it back under control. It's still handling. You think the bus just took the vehicular equivalent of shock, not the vehicular equivalent of wounds. You don't know how many more of those it can take, but at the moment, it seems to be doing okay. Wade, Reverend Marcus, Professor Darnell.
Oh, I might want to taunt it. I'm not quite sure though how to taunt the T-Rex.
It is difficult to taunt.
Well, I mean, I don't imagine it has very high charisma.
No, but it does have a defensive taunt skill, representing the fact it is quite difficult to taunt.
Shoot at it.
Yeah, I think that might be better.
Well, it is a big creature, and remember what the situational the forgotten the name of the bloody word now. They are called interaction. That's the word. Don't forget, interaction attacks do help. But shooting it is, I mean, you've got a +4 already because it is huge. And there's no glass to shoot through because you'd be shooting at it on the side that it just bashed the windows out of.
Yeah, but I mean, if I taunt it and it goes well, then I could make it less effective next round.
You can. It's up to you. Decide what to do.
Make it move less. That'd be good.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll taunt it. That's what I've
So you're going to try and stymie it, whatever result you get, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I sort of look at it right through the window and say, "Hey, you ugly motherfucker, lizard, you."
Actually, do you know what happens? Let's say you do something like this, because it's a bit weird to try and do verbal taunts to a T-Rex.
Yeah.
But you remember, and let's hope this is the case, you remember the whole thing about their eyesight being based on vision? So you lean out of the side of the truck and just empty the rifle into the side of the building ahead of you, which essentially just brings a whole load of rubble and debris down, essentially confusing the thing. While yelling.
And
Good.
5
dice.
on twos.
that puts me at 8, 10, 15.
Okay. You wish to make him vulnerable and stymied, or very vulnerable, or very stymied?
Very stymied.
Okay. Wade. Or the professor. It's up to you.
I'd like to shoot it, but I mean, is my mum currently on the?
Your mum's on the roof. This thing's big enough. You can. By the way, yes, your mum is in melee with it. However, this is one of those situations where there is enough of a beast to shoot at that means shooting at its tail does not run the risk of inadvertently hitting the person who's in melee with it up front.
Which is a pity.
I'd quite like to shoot at its head.
Hey.
Its head's out of range. At the moment, it's literally out of sight. Previously, it was about 30 meters behind the bus. It's now next to the bus.
Can I try and just like unload a full round into its legs to see if I can take out a leg?
Yeah, you can try to. So you want to do a cool shot?
Yeah, cool shot on its leg. See if we can.
And long burst, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So what does that mean to my pluses, minuses?
Right, okay, so you're getting a +4 for it being huge. You're getting a -2 because you're shooting at one of its legs.
Okay.
What I'm going to say for this is you're not going to do any additional damage because it's not a vital area. But if you manage to do wounds on it, it's going to get additional minuses on its maneuvers because essentially you'll have done the wound directly to the things it's running on.
You also get +4 from the full round thing.
Yep. Don't forget the long burst as well. So you're at a plus.
Is that for
8.
damage or is that for?
No, it's
to
just
hit?
to hit. Because the idea is if you get a better result, you've got more chance of getting the bonus dice for damage anyway. So you're an overall +6.
Right. Thank you.
And the blessing.
Plus
Yep,
two.
plus 8.
I'm +8.
Yeah, so you're starting off with an 8.
Roll a 1. Oh crap.
Oh, that is. Oh my God, no.
That was close. You are
Okay,
using
so-
a weapon that is native to your reality. You are not doing this while on your while.
Whew.
Oh, I did actually. Right. You are currently wearing
Oh.
a Tech 27 power glove.
I'm not using it.
You're firing a rifle with one hand?
Yes.
I'm cringing, I can tell.
Wade, disconnect.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poo.
So you literally you bring the rifle up, you line up with a perfect shot to the leg, and literally as you pull the trigger, a sort of a static spark just runs off the knuckles of your right hand down your arm, and just all of a sudden your arm goes completely numb.
The other part of that is the math range on the long burst is 1 to 3 as well.
Yeah, I think you'd still have malfunctioned as well. So the gun also jams. Okay, that's Wade's go. Professor Darnell.
So should you...
All right, I.
Should have listened to your mum.
What did Mum say?
I didn't say anything.
You're
really.
holding that club the wrong way around.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
You were
I
holding
am.
the club the wrong way.
I agree, Mum.
Professor
Okay.
Darnell, you've just seen Wade just click, nothing happens, and he just lets the gun drop to the floor, and he's looking confused at his hands, and his right arm hanging limp at his side.
Okay, I pull him aside so I have space, and I also take a shot at the T-Rex.
Okay, remember it is quite crowded in the back, but good shot anyway. So you're less pulling him aside and more just like barging past him and desperately
Yeah.
try not to stand on wounded people. On a 10, you're rolling an ad. Now you've got confused this round, so you can't spend cards, but you can spend possibilities if you have them, and if you wish to use them.
I just.
You can
use
spend
the-
Cosm cards still, guys. Don't forget that's one way to get possibilities back, because almost all the Cosm cards that make things harder for you give you possibilities.
If I play this card, everyone will hate me.
I'll hit you. I know I will hit you.
They get to choose. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And it'll
for
be a good
now,
1-2
I
play.
shoot with a bonus of 8, so I have a dexterity of 7. That's 15.
15
That's
against
good.
it. It certainly hits. Its dodge is only 10, so you've hit with 1 bonus die of damage. You're
Right.
using your pistol or a rifle?
The pistol.
Fine, so just roll 1 bonus die and add that to your pistol damage. That's a good roll, 5.
Plus 2 remember for the...
That's
Blessing.
damage is 12, so that's 17, right?
Yep, that is. And you don't think it pierced the thing's tough hide, but it did something to it. Do you want to play that card?
Sure. I play
on.
that card.
Right.
Come on.
So the Law of Decay is played. So all the time that you've been in the Living Land so far, you've been seeing the things that were of the modern world decay in front of your eyes. But there's an ongoing effect constantly in the Living Land. It is literally as if the whole cycle of recycling is accelerated. The instant something ceases to be alive, it starts to decay. Now, each of you can now choose one piece of gear. You get to choose one piece of gear that has either just fallen apart, it's on its last legs and it just crumbled, is ruined, or you've simply lost it. One of the other things of the Living Land, things will go missing. It has to be something valuable, such as an example card on the card is all the ammo for one gun, a weapon, your armor, or some other important piece of equipment. depending on the value of that loss to your character, you will immediately get 1 to 3 possibilities.
Does Axiom mean anything in this? Does an Axiom 27 more expensive than an Axiom 22?
It is more likely to cause you grief in the long run because it is in excess of your tech axiom and the Living Land's tech axiom. However, losing 2 ration bars, while they are valuable, that'll give you 1 possibility. Because they are only rice cakes after all.
That was worth a try. We'll do that.
Those are rifles, so we could afford to lose one at least.
Not really, because the ammo's limited on each of the rifles. It's not like we have loads of ammo, so I'm just going to get rid of the clay things and get 1 possibility.
Okay, so you get rid of the rations and get 1 possibility. Lena.
I discarded all my useless, pointless things. They had a funny-looking block thing and other funny-looking thing which I threw away ages ago. I've basically just got a spear now, because it was anything that looked interesting. So my spear will snap in the fight with this creature, I guess.
And considering your circumstance, have 3 possibilities.
Woohoo!
Reverend Marcus.
Right, so I've got the fancy Kindle thing. I don't think that's something I want to lose. I got my mobile phone. I've got. I guess the least useful thing I have on me is a Bible.
Have 3 possibilities. For your character, that is huge. Literally, the word of your Lord has just disintegrated away on your hip. You probably haven't even noticed it. The punishment the book's been taking, you've been in the water, you've been referring to it by memory up until this point, but it literally, I mean, it might not have disintegrated. It might just be that you've misplaced it. So at some point later when your character realizes it, might be off camera, he's going to be a bit miffed. But that's quite big for your character. It's a role play biggie for that one.
Yeah.
Wade.
You have to lose something, is that right?
You have to lose something. You have no choice. Something of at least minor importance to you goes.
I don't think that's fair.
What, you don't think it's fair to lose something? Or
No. Sorry. Well, I'm mulling over which to get rid of. I think I probably haven't got that anymore anyway. So. Ooh. No, I'll probably keep holding my hockey stick because that's the only thing that looks like a club now. It's either the life. I think either the life jacket or the mobile phone. Maybe.
If you want to get rid of your mobile, that will be a 2.
Oh, the gun. Because I have just dropped the gun, so I could have broken it.
Yeah, I've just dropped the gun. It could have just fallen out.
It jammed and I dropped it.
If you're going to get rid of the rifle, because you do have other rifles, you'll get 1 for the rifle.
Well, I've got 5. How many possibilities do I need?
Well, you could always do with Skellen's option.
I've just seen what Skellen said.
He doesn't value that.
Yeah, for that he doesn't have even 1 possibility.
And I think considering the age of the character and the modern day, I think that's a mother's fruitless hope.
Yes.
So, yeah, sorry to disappoint you, Mum.
Yeah. But that Reyes
went years ago. Do you remember the piano teacher?
Yeah.
We'll go for the phone, and we'll go for the modern.
Okay.
The gun's just on the floor, but
perhaps when you come to, because you are currently disconnected, you'll bemoan that, but something probably lost. I mean, you're in the back of a heavily moving, quickly moving vehicle being tossed backwards and forwards, and you did have it, or maybe you just dropped it back at the hospital and you've only just noticed, but have 2 possibilities. Professor Darnell.
I will drop the tablet I got.
I thought you said drop dead.
Okay, so you lose your tablet. It's only a 1 for your character, that one.
Yeah.
Did I do Officer Reyes already or not?
Yep, we did the food rations.
Yep. Okay. Oh, Law of Decay. I like Law of Decay. So everyone gets lots more possibilities, but that's good. We're going to the next combat round.
I got one. Doesn't matter.
Time for action. Remember, we're still in a dramatic scene. So villains are going first, but you guys have a flurry. Now, this does mean, Officer Reyes, you will have an opportunity in your second flurry action, which will go after everyone else has had their go, to make a second drive check, which does mean this round, if you'll have a chance to get an uncontested move away from the thing. So we'll do a contested one first, and then on your second go, you'll get to do a second uncontested drive check.
Are we in the living land currently?
You are indeed. Right, its maneuvers are 12.
Okay, and oh, sorry, I was thinking. Right, I'm borrowing the Reverend's dice here. Hopefully, it works for me. Ooh,
Got at least the same as I did. So you got a 2. Don't forget, you still got a dex bonus. You're in 3 rounds of dex bonus.
that's 2 plus 2. That's 4 plus my thing of 11, so that's 15.
Okay, so it only got a standard success. You got a good success because it's versus 10s. So you get an aggregate. So you're pulling away from it, which is good. Seeing as on its go, that means it's now behind. It makes an effort to charge. It's going to do an attack. It's going to do an all-out attack, which means as attack is the approved action this round, it will get its +1 bonus dice.
I am going to play a Cosm card.
Which is
Pearls of the Living Land.
oh, okay, fine, interesting.
I need more
Piling
cards.
it on. Piling it on.
I need more thingamajiggies.
Yep, you do. Okay, don't worry about that. I'll let you know when that happens in a minute. So the T-Rex is behind. It sort of doubles its speed in an attempt to snap at the morsel that is on top of the thing. So that means that, Lena, you see the jaws snapping down towards you. You have a flurry, so if you want to, you could elect to do an all-out defense.
Okay, all out defense.
So you're going to have to generate a bonus number and apply it to your unarmed combat skill. So you've lost your spear.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad. So
Don't forget you've got some more possibilities now.
I haven't. I'm going to burn some as soon as I got some.
So roll again and add. That's at least a 10, so it's a 26, giving you a bonus number of 9, giving you an unarmed defense of?
We're 9, 18. Although, can I spend another possibility and keep going, or?
No, but if you've got a card, you can. You can spend a drama card as a possibility.
Alright, okay, I'm going to do that then. I think they're both pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're 2 drama cards. They've got different artwork. They're both exactly the same card, but you can spend them. So I'll delete drama card 48 from your character sheet. It's another 10. So that's a 26. That's a 36. That's a bonus number of 11.
On top
so
of
that
my
gives you a
20.
+2 because of your blessing. 22.
22. Okay.
Just unarmed combat. Okay, so it's currently got a 16 because it's got its unarmed combat of 12 and it is doing an all-out attack, giving it a +4. However, it is currently very stymied, so it's at a -4. Almost forgot about that one. So it's at a basic 12 currently. So your 22 means if I get a 31 to a 35, I've hit you. I rolled a 7. Oh, my T-Rex didn't hit. So it snaps towards the warrior on the top of the bus, and you just flick-flack backwards and sort of land in a classic sort of feral hero pose at the front of the bus. and you see the bus pulls away again, and the T-Rex pulls backwards slightly as it loses its balance a little bit from that overextended snap. Well done. So that's its attack. It failed. So Hero's first goes. Lena, your first go was a defense, so you'll get a go when everyone goes the second time round. Who's going first in this combat round?
As presumably I'm only trying to reconnect. Can I do that?
You do that for we. Not only you can do anything you want as long as it's within the remit of the living land, but you're in a dominant living land zone, which means you need to get a 4. I thought that was you. You need to get a 14 or more on your reality skill.
Shooting.
Okay, that's cool. You didn't say. But that's okay. Proved actions as attacks. You're going to get a card.
25.
14 and more on reality.
On
skill,
reality.
which comes off
Reality, spirit.
Spirit. So I'm at 9. So I need to get.
You need a 5. You need at
That's a
least an
4.
18.
18. Okay, come on.
And you can't spend possibilities until you've reconnected.
Alex, yeah, that's 10 plus.
Right. You're
Double
fair.
disconnect.
You now have a choice.
Got to
You
lower
can
me.
join your mother in your new primitive reality,
Interesting.
Yeah.
or voluntarily drop your reality skill by 1, but reconnect.
Oh, I get to reconnect. Okay.
You will automatically reconnect instead of disconnect. Now, we've had this come up a couple of times. Just to let you know, what you would have to do is you'd quickly rework your character, which means anything you've got that is not appropriate for the living land, you would have to lose and get something else that's appropriate for the living land. Fire combat, for example, you probably wouldn't have. Missile weapons is fine. Most of your skills are fine. Scholar, you'd probably switch out. The biggest thing that would affect you is one of your perks, Prodigy, is predicated upon you being of core Earth. So you would have to switch out the Prodigy perk with something else. Or reduce your reality by 1 add and automatically reconnect.
I think the simplest thing is to reduce me reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I wanted to finish today, I'll do that. So,
Okay.
all right, reality's down to 1.
You shake it off, and your link with your own reality feels a little bit diminished, but you've grasped back. Your immediate reaction is to just pick up the gun from where it was on the ground. You don't necessarily know it's jammed, unfortunately. But it's up to you what you do. I think you can make a fire combat skill roll to unjam it, but it'll be a multi-action. So you'll be doing 2 things.
And which is the one I gave bonuses for? It's not multi-action, is it multi-target?
No, but that would be a multi-target attack on whirlwind.
Right.
That's only hand to hand.
I think I'm just coming out of my reverie sort of thing, and what the hell, snap myself up. So looking at the gun and realizing, so I won't actually do anything this round.
Okay. You get another go in a minute because it's a flurry. So,
Cool.
Reverend Marcus or Professor Darnell, who's going?
Right, I think I'm going to try to.
I was shooting.
Oh, you did, yeah. You've already rolled, haven't
Yeah.
you? Sorry, I completely
Yeah.
missed that one. So you're 25 as well. That was a really good shot. Bad, John. So that's an 8.
It's an 8, and then
Plus the
there's
2 from the spell.
damage.
Yep. Plus 2 from. So now, hang on. You might get better than that because you might get multiple dice depending on how well you did. So it's your 8 plus the 2 from the blessing gives you a 10. What's your fire combat, as Durek has put in the text?
I don't have any fire combat.
So it's just dexterity.
Okay, so I have 7 dexterity, and what is the?
So you're getting a total of an 8 from the roll, and you're getting a plus 2 from the blessing from Reverend Marcus. So you're on a 17, which means you've got 5 over its dodge. You've actually got 7 over its dodge. So yes, you would roll 1 bonus dice. So that's
Okay,
4.
It's 4, and the gun has 12, so it's 16.
16. So again, you think this thing's hide is so tough. It's ridiculous. But it doesn't appear to be bleeding anywhere apart from the bit on its neck where the remnant of Lena's spear is hanging out. But I don't know. Could be, maybe it's tiring. You're not entirely sure. But while you did successfully attack, so have a card. Card you're going to have is opponent fails. Very good card. Reverend Marcus.
Right, I'm going to do a multi-action.
Okay.
I'm going to taunt the thing again, sort of trying to disorient it a bit with my with the gun, I guess, and then I'm going to shoot it.
You're taunting it or tricking it? Because
I'm not really good with trick, so
okay, that's fine. So you're just doing the taunt to get the very stymied. So -2 for both actions because you're doing a multi-action, and you apply the same bonus number of 5, or in this case, let's call it a 3 because of the -2.
I'll spend possibility.
Okay.
So
38, 44. 12. So that's a bonus number of 10, taking away the -2. So you're doing the taunt first, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taunt is 10, so as a 20.
That would be correct. Yeah, was it 28, 38, 44? Yeah, the 12, 10. So yeah, it's a 20 on the taunt. So do you want to make it very stymied again or very vulnerable?
Ooh, I think very vulnerable, and then we'll get it next round.
Okay.
And then I get
same bonus number of 10 plus 4 because this is for a fire combat and it is very large. So you're getting a bonus number of 14.
I was
and
doing if I have the ammo, I'd do a long burst.
We didn't really say it. You're getting loads of bonuses anyway. Trust me. Long burst is probably, you can have the effect, but long burst is probably going to not give you much of a bonus in a second. If it does, I'll let you do it, but I don't think it will. Because you've got a +4 for its size.
Yeah.
+4 because you just made it very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's an 8 at the moment. Plus the 10, you're on a bonus number of 18 onto your fire combat currently. As it's only got a dodge of 10,
18.
doing the long burst isn't going to help you any further.
Yeah, right. Okay. Right. Fire combat is only 8.
That's a 26, which is 16 higher than its dodge. So you're getting 2 bonus dice for damage.
Woo.
So that's a 7 onto the M16 damage of 16, I believe.
No, it's 13.
Oh, you got an M4 not an M16, yeah?
It's the same. It has the same profile.
I think they would differ.
If it was a full automatic weapon that did 16, it would be extremely powerful.
I think it might just be the one in the adventure because they list it as a 16. Hang on. Let me double check. Because it is the ones that you picked up off of what's his face. Brant the Thunderlord. Oh no, M16 damage 13, yeah. So that's a 7 on 13, that's a 20.
Ooh.
This thing is just too tough. Again, you see the bullets walk up its torso, doing that whole Incredible Hulk dimple, 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 but not actually penetrating. But that does actually do a little bit of shock to it, which all adds up. Everyone's gone this round. Second action, because you're in a flurry. So second actions. Lena, you can kick off because you didn't get a go. Oh, and sorry, Reverend Marcus, you didn't attack.
Well, all my actions are driving, so it would be my action first again.
Yep, go for the driving. Now, if you get a standard success, then that's 1. Obviously, if you get better, good, superior, that's a 2 and a 3. I said if you get 6 successes away from it, you get away from it. You're currently 3 successes away from it.
Okay.
So if you do manage to get a 20, you could lose it this round, or at the end of this.
What did I roll? 5. Oh, I'll use a possibility on
That's
that.
a -4 currently.
Oh, I was almost
off
20.
of a 20. You rolled off of a 20. That's a 15.
15.
A bonus
right.
number of 2.
2 plus that's 13. 15. 15 because the +2 from the magic.
Okay, so that's enough for a good success. So you're currently 5 successes away from it. I'll get back to you in a second. Lena, on top of the bus. The thing's about 30 feet behind you at the moment, but you get the feeling it's about to do another charge towards you. It's up to you what you want to do.
Oh, well, I need to wait for it to get close enough, so
okay.
Yeah.
So you're holding your action, okay? Wade, Reverend Marcus, Professor Darnell.
Right, I'm going to discard the one card I just got now.
Oh, Skell, Lena can make a find check because she's a sort of an all-round awareness kind of babe at the moment. That kind of girl.
So my find
Tax and flurry.
+8 to that. So 10.
10. Okay, that's enough. You basically you're looking at and you're waiting. You turn, and I don't know. It's probably the distance you're up. About 60 or 70 feet ahead, you see the roadway falling away.
Well, I hope the driver notices.
Okay.
By falling away, do you mean going down into the earth?
Actually dropping, disintegrating downwards as you watch. As if whatever was under the road is just gone and the road's fallen away.
Okay.
That's bad.
I will say and point towards the road.
She's just screaming down, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She draws your attention to that, Officer Riaz. You'll be dealing with that in a second.
Pardon?
Lena's just screamed down something about, she said, ahead or something like that. You look up and there's like maybe a cloud of smoke or steam, and then you realise that the road that was there a minute ago isn't anymore.
I mean, we get our possibilities now.
You will do once you get on the other side of that.
Okay.
It's when you overcome the obstacle, not when you see it.
Can I play alertness to point out
Yeah, go for it. You can.
a possible way?
Professor, your attention is drawn to that as well, and your sharp eyes, you spot that it's not only has the road fallen away, but the road on the other side, just before it disappears into the cloud of or steam or whatever it is that's rising up out of this rent in the surface of the earth that's just opened up, you notice the other side of the road appeared to be buckling at the same time. And you realize that the right-hand side of the road is now higher and the left-hand side of the road is now lower than this side. With that in mind, you yell at Officer Reyes to bear left.
Go left and everyone hold on.
Okay, should we do Officer Reyes' bit first?
Done my action this turn. So
Yeah, no, that's a different one. This is action. So you're careening down. You've now got to basically you've heard this yell from above. Your attention's drawn to the front, and you see literally the road's fallen away. All you can see is just this wall of steam rising up out of the rent. However, from behind you, Professor Darnell is yelling, "Go left!"
I'll go towards the one.
Well, there's no turnings. There's no turnings to the left, so you must only mean off to the side. So you have to make me a driving roll. It's going to be difficult though, because to the left, if you do go, the reason you've not been going left is there's a lot more rubble. There's a crashed taxi cab, and one of the street signs has literally collapsed down and is in the process of being like eaten away by erosion. So your DC on this is a 15.
Using my last possibilities because otherwise I won't make it.
Well, it's at least a 10, so that's a 23 for a bonus number of 8.
8 plus 2 is 10 plus 21.
Okay, you slam on the brakes and turn the wheel sharply so you're in the right direction, and then you just immediately release the brake and just put your foot straight down on the gas, and the bus begins to pick up speed again, and then you suddenly feel free fall as you pass through this curtain of steam. and then there's it feels like an eternity. It's probably only about a second and a half, as your breath holds, and then you hit the other side, and the wheels of the bus continue to go round and round.
Oh God! Seriously.
I saw that one coming. So.
And you have to then yank it down to the right as you pull up, and you come up out of the depression. And anybody at the back, you can look down and you can see that there's literally sort of a lava flow behind you, slowly coming up out of the rent.
Fire.
Bad.
Bad fire.
Possibility.
You actually everyone gets 2 possibilities for that one, because that was a difficult test.
Wow.
For that peril of the living land.
Everyone gets 2 possibilities.
Everyone gets 2. It's not just the driver. Okay, who hasn't had their action in the flurry round? The T-Rex is currently on the other side of a steam vent.
I haven't, and I'll do the same thing again as I did.
Well, it's still very vulnerable at the moment, so...
Yeah, but I'm going to make it stand. Try to make it stand.
Okay.
So... Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh, and 10. So that's 33. I think there's a possibility of that.
So you're doing the 2 actions again, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, remember the bonuses from before? Or the minuses, I should say.
Which is for...
Minus 2 for multi-action.
Yeah.
But you're getting the +4 for the
It's +8.
steam vent, so the size is going to only give you a +2, because he's got cover from the steam.
Right, but that gives me 33. Has anyone got any glory cards they might want to play?
I believe that Professor Darnell has a glory card in their pool. Why, are you close to a potential 60?
Well, I mean, I'm at 33. That's more than halfway, and I've got 6 possibilities.
Yeah, you haven't spent one yet, have you? So, yeah, there's a glory card. Alexander, you've got a glory card in your pool currently, haven't you?
I have, but do we have 60 plus?
Yeah, well, you're not playing it
Yeah.
yet, but
Wait, can
it's
I
an
spend
opportunity.
more than one possibility on that?
You can only spend 1 possibility, 1 drama card, and 1 hero card on the. So, in theory, you're getting more possibilities, but they have to be from different sources.
Okay, right. Wait, is Nemesis a possibility card? I mean,
If you don't use it, you can hand it in to get a possibility, but that doesn't count as one that can be played in addition to a personal.
Yeah, you need the drama or the hero.
Yeah, it just adds 1 to your pool, Nemesis.
Yeah, okay, there's no. Well, I'm gonna use a possibility just in case.
Yeah, honestly, you're firing at a T-Rex that so far you haven't done a single wound to.
Shit, that thing's tough.
Yes, it is, and rightly so.
Right, well that puts me at 43, and then 43 is
17 too short.
Yeah, but that's 12 bonus. So I presume he gets very stymied as well. Like, we don't need to actually calculate that.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother. He's very stymied again. Yeah,
And
he's still very vulnerable, by the way.
yeah. So right.
Again, I think we can safely say with that roll that you're getting 2 bonus dice damage.
Yeah.
Without having to do a long burst. Well, good start. Slightly worse continuance. So that's a 9.
9.
On to the 13. That's a 22.
Yeah.
Okay. Doing some more shock to it.
Damn, that thing's tough.
This thing is very, very tough. You already got a bonus card for attack this round. You don't get a... no, yes, you do, because it's a new round. You don't get it for doing twice.
Right. Has anyone got any crap cards they might want to swap in? Because I got a rally I could play.
You got a glory card as well for that one.
I'm not too fussed on this maelstrom one.
I'm just piling up cards they can't use. I'm doing great here. Oh, I forgot I have a card that is useful sometimes.
It's my second go in the flurry.
Oh, sorry, go for it. Wade was there. Go on, Wade. It's currently very stymied and very vulnerable. It could be if you actually manage to. You might. I don't know.
I'm going to attempt to shoot it. However,
Okay.
I believe my gun is jammed at the moment.
Yeah, so you're going to have to make
So,
an
okay.
action to unjam it, essentially. Just for simplicity's sake, we're going to go this multi-action, so you're getting a -2 multi-action penalty. But you're only doing one. You get a -2 penalty for having to unjam it this time around.
Okay.
So 12 is a bonus number of 0 so far. You will be getting. Are you doing a long burst or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay,
very
so
much
you'll
so.
be getting a +8, -2, +6 overall currently. Actually, more than that. +10 because it's vulnerable.
Is that including my dexterity bonus?
Nope. So you're on a 12.
So that's 24 at the moment.
Which is more than 10 over its dodge.
So I don't need to spend any cards.
Yep.
Okay.
So you need. That's a good roll. You're on a 12, and with everything else adding up, you're still getting an exceptional success with the 2 bonus dice damage. So well done.
When you had my coup de grace, that was brilliant.
Yeah, I don't have that, unfortunately.
I've got them all. That's why you don't have any.
.24 to the T-Rex.
Come
He did
on.
1 wound and 2 shock.
Good lad.
Game on.
The thing you fire. Also, there would have been a -2, but it wouldn't have mattered for the firing through the steam. I said that for other people. You got it as well, but it was still enough to get more than 10 over its result. The thing, for the first time, it roars in pain as you see the stitching of the bullets walking up its chest and just red explosions as each bullet impacts firmly in between its 2 little arms. It does sort of bring it up short, and because that's probably a good place to put the T-Rex out of its misery. In the very next round, it stumbles towards the edge and can't stop it, and it falls through into the mist out of sight. However, that's the into the fire bit on the initiative line. However, you are then hit by another surge. Can everybody please roll me a d20, except for Lena, who's of the living land?
Can we roll a 10 on
The
this?
reception.
Well, you don't need to because you're only testing for a 1 to 4. Again,
I just took out a T-Rex.
you did, and that rage rises within you, and it just you can't stop it, and it literally all of a sudden, Wade just lets out this primitive a cry of triumph, like he's bellowing.
And
he
he
just-
just have the card second chance.
And he stands there like beating his chest like Kong.
Dressed for it.
You are dressed for it. Actually, you could be dressed even more appropriately for it if your mum plays the card that she has.
Oh no. Roar!
But luckily, the person driving doesn't disconnect, come to the living land.
Oh, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Not really, because I've got second chance.
Yeah.
Well, could you play that up for him?
Can't play it on
Can't play it for other people.
Oh, okay.
But for the next 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, you proceed to work your way slowly carefully through the crumbling ruins of Manhattan. Lena, outside, your lookout on the top of this strange moving rock still.
I'll play my
Somebody
card.
did just play a card.
You might as well throw it in there as well.
Okay,
Bit
in
of
that
fun.
case, what I said, 10 to 15 minutes of driving slowly. The steam that came out of the rent appears to just engulf everything. It expands at a preternatural speed, and soon, Officer Reyes, you're finding yourself having to drive at maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour as this deep, thick fog begins to, or just surrounds everything. What you were expecting to take about 15 minutes drive ends up taking you almost a whole hour before, with literally no sunlight left at all, it is now well into the night.
Are we losing the lava race?
You're not losing the lava race. The lava's well behind you. The lava's well behind you.
Oh, okay.
But you do all get 2 possibilities.
Do we not get an obstacle?
No, that's the living land. The obstacle was the rent. You done that one. The deep
No,
mist.
on that card it says there's no obstacle.
Yeah, the deep mist.
Okay.
The additional encounters or obstacles you get are coming.
Is there a cap on possibilities?
No, but you should really be spending them, because I think I'm forgetting to tell you when to reboot them. I think it's per act they go down. So at the end of the act they reset. I'm just double checking they don't do that per scene, because that would be unfair.
I'm on 11, but I keep disconnecting, so I can't spend them.
I know.
It's not.
Make a reality skill check, please, Wade.
What was it? We said we needed a 15.
You need a
18.
14. You need a 14 total.
So I need to roll an 18, I think. It was,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You need to not roll
Come
a 1.
on. Oh,
Close. Has anyone got a supporter card they can play on him?
Well, I've got a supporter card I could play on him, but
Because you are. Oh, by the way, you're out of combat, so everyone needs to put their action cards back into their hand, and if that leaves you with more than 5 cards in your hand, you have to discard down to 5.
But just remember, this is not a come on or anything, okay?
It is.
Go on. Go on.
You've always wanted a
Go on, Scallon.
mother.
I'm gonna play it now.
Oh,
Check this
Finally.
out.
Go on.
It's
What's he
still
playing?
purely voluntary.
No, it's not.
You're playing it, yeah?
am I now back into reality?
You are.
Oh.
You're basically you're coaxed back from the brink by some words from Officer Reyes.
I'm definitely playing it now, and I can't share it. Unfortunately, you'll need to do it. I think.
That's okay. So
Just drag it onto the chat bar thing.
So, you are finding yourselves. I'm trying to find the picture for the entrance to the Holland Tunnel, but you're finding yourself at the entrance to the Holland Tunnel. It is very dark. There is a mist wreathing the air. Some might say, giving it a somewhat of a romantic. You find yourselves trailing off the bus. Not a one of you has survived that encounter without some significant bruising or abrasions, or just your clothes are just ripped. And in Wade's case, probably at his own place. So Wade, you're now essentially probably you've ripped your top off as part of that last primitive and bashing of your chest. So Wade is now naked from the waist up. Your hockey trousers are looking quite tattered as well. Officer Reyes, your uniform is also looking worse for wear, ripped apart at the midriff. So you've probably got underneath the Kevlar You've got like a crop top, essentially. Everyone is looking significantly more primitive and feral than they were before. And there's something in the air. And as it says on Primal Instincts, clothing rips in the most flattering way. And passion. I mean, you've got that thing. You've just come through a fight with a T-Rex. The adrenaline was pulsing. And we all know what happens when adrenaline gets running. Now, you can decide what you want to do. Ignore the fact that there's blue sky in this picture, because the Holland Tunnel is ahead of you, wreathed in dark.
They're like big plants with orange things and stuff like that. Just,
You can see the sky is clear. The sky is clear. There is a moon up, making it even more romantic. And you can see, obviously, alien plants in amongst the bits of the tunnel.
I get jiggy with it.
With whom?
Who would? His mum.
Well, there are other female characters present. So if Wade wants to partake of the an off-camera amorous encounter, you can do. It's that classic, the classic World War II, the war's over scene, where you might you do that. You grab one of the nurses and you dip, kiss.
Yeah, I was thinking more Titanic. You go into one of the
King of the
towns and then-
world. Well, he's gonna hold Officer Reyes off of the front of the minibus,
Yeah.
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 or paint me like one of your living landladies.
Doodles, yeah.
Or once everyone else has I get you. Once everyone else has filed off the minibus, the bus starts rocking, so nobody starts knocking,
I'll tell you
and then
guys,
Wade gets off the bus on his own.
I'm attracted to Reverend Mark's dice. I don't know what it is, but they just seem to roll high.
Oh, you're attracted by his dice. Sorry, he's your adopted brother. I got freaked out for a second.
It's
They
not
said
your
his
brother.
dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not blood relation, though. It's only adopted.
Yeah, Wade still
So-
got the power glove, so.
The tunnel itself is pitch black. Where you are now, outside the darkened entrance, thick vines cover the walls and hang down from the tunnel ceiling. Ominous piles of human bones can be seen in the projected light of those of you that still have a mobile phone.
Ooh.
The underpass itself is quiet, but you can hear, confused somewhat by the mist, but probably amplified as well. You can hear the sounds of many large creatures moving about and around in the dark. Lena, your senses are more attuned to hear, and you're certain that where the mists parted while you were coming here, you've seen green figures moving off in the distance. So you feel that there is definitely something approaching. So you must not dawdle here. The tunnel itself is pitch black. In game, that means anything you do in there, if you don't take a light source with you, is going to suffer a -6 blanket penalty for darkness.
Yeah. We should probably try to find something.
Well, one of you has a something.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
If only we had a strange circular globe that would light up places.
Hey, Prof, use that gadget of yours.
I think
he's
he's
gonna come
fainted
hide.
because no one picked him.
Is the prof going to use the gadget of his?
Just say yes.
Does it move with us or just stay still? Because it's a bit useless.
It hovers over his head.
It hovers,
Oh, okay, over your head. I didn't know if it was just hovering there because you didn't move, so I didn't know if it
Please don't do it weird with your dice rolls.
Wade can do it.
To a Wade.
Yeah, just roll a 1d20 just when you're activating. Good. You lift the globe up above your head, put pressure on the place where you realise pressure needs to be put, and a 300 lumen light bursts into being over your head. It even seems to banish some of the mist a little bit in the immediate area. Now, you've basically, at this point, the people you've got with you are huddling nearby, not wanting to go more than about 10 meters or 10 feet away from any one of you because of the encroaching of the mist. So you have got little choice now but to blaze away through the tunnel to get everyone to relative safety on the other side. However, this is where we do dramatic skill resolution. In order to get through the tunnel, you've got to complete 4 tasks. The first task is to find a safe route in. You can see clearly there's a dangerous network of hanging vines and sticky roots throughout the tunnel. So that will involve, and you can choose who does these, that will involve a scholar or survival test. It's up to you.
That isn't me.
The second step is the light has revealed, you can see a particularly large specimen of these obviously carnivorous plants. These are very similar to the ones you saw first from Professor Darnell. You saw the one that looked like a giant Venus flytrap back at the docks.
Yeah.
These look like variants of those. And you can't make out detail from here, but you can see some way within the tunnel, there does appear to be a large clump of these things. You get a bit closer, you can work out what to do there, but that's obviously the second thing you're going to have to overcome.
Ooh, has anyone got a lighter on them?
Yeah, cards from the hand go back, actions go back into your hand. The third thing, once you think you've gotten past that, it will probably be clear. Then there's the psychological issue of trying to coax all of these civilians to follow you through and into such a dangerous situation. There's a fourth step, but we'll talk about that when time pressure kicks in. Now, normally, a dramatic skill resolution, you get a number of time cycles to complete the task. Okay, this one's slightly different. This task doesn't have a round limit, but if you start taking too long, bad things will start to happen. Okay?
Well, so far none of them I can do. So,
well, if bad things start to happen, that will be your risk. So,
you said only one person gets a go in each stage.
Yeah, but when the bad things happen, other things are taking.
Oh. So who can do survival for the first stage? Lena, probably.
I can. I shall do. Do you want me to do the survival?
Well, wait for it, because there's an extra thing to this, because the drama deck controls what you can attempt. So, with I'm trying to find dramatic skill resolution in the bloody book now. I had it a minute ago. And it goes without saying that if you start taking too long, the things that are gathering and have been following you in the mist will start to catch up.
We're ready to go. We're just waiting for this GM. He's slowing us down.
130, dramatic skill resolution. So, you can use combined actions to help with the task. So if 3 people want to try survival, they can combine to give it a better chance. So, in the first round, the drama is that old chestnut. Now, you will note the bit to the right of the image is the dramatic skill resolution section. In there, you have seen, over the course of looking at the initiative cards, you've seen A, B, C, D, possible setback, and other bits and pieces. You can only attempt the action if it's appropriate on that side panel. So initially, as you start, you are delayed as you decide who is going to undertake the action or not. So a little bit of time has been wasted straight from the get-go. But nothing you can do about that. That's the effect. So we're not in combat rounds, we're just worrying about the BC thing.
Mm.
So there's, while you
Might try to do something with the leading thing.
There's even more pause. Decide amongst yourselves what's actually going on, because you've still got no opportunity. Now, there is something you can do about this, but it is sort of like last-ditch effort. Because essentially, if the correct thing isn't up there, you've got to wait until you get one that does.
Do we close the old card?
Yeah. We're only worried about the next one. So the next one's the runaway. But you can do something called last-ditch effort. If time is about to run out, you can declare a last-ditch effort where you can essentially attempt all the remaining actions in one go. But obviously you're doing 4 things at once, so that's a -6 multi-action penalty.
Let's go for the next card. I think the next card has to be an A. It has to be an A because you can't get like bad cards 3 times in a row.
Well, we just got a complication. It's a good time to have a complication, though, because what complication means is you've got to try again.
Good, we feel.
But you can at least attempt the first task. You can attempt any task on a complication.
Go, Lena.
If Lena fails her survival check,
Go shoot you.
all the subsequent checks will suffer a -1 penalty.
We'll shoot you.
I got this, don't worry.
So Lena stalks forward after.
And I'm going to spend a possibility.
Pointing so the rubble and the plants, cutting away a few of the hanging vines that are. Well, what's your survival total? Oh, you spent a possibility, did you? Cool.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
That's a 9 bonus number. So what's your survival total?
My survival total is a 9.
So +9, that's an 18. So you got way more than you needed. There is now a relatively safe path to that midway point in the tunnel. Professor Darnell, you've been behind Lena each step of the way in order to provide her with light. So you're now stood right up to this plant, and you're probably the best person to examine this thing, considering your particular preclusions to paleobotany.
Did not already do that before, earlier, because it was type of plant.
Yeah, no, it's not that, but he's looking through. Right. You can ascertain a couple of things from your vantage point. This is a very large specimen of this plant. It appears to have, its root network has compromised the tunnel at this area. So at the moment, you're clear that this roof is only holding because this thing is in the way. You have managed to work out that currently you don't think there's a safe way to get past this thing because you trail out, you can see all of its trailing vines and that sort of thing. But you think if you can, you could push one of the rusted cars in front of it, and that would shield anybody going past it successfully from it being able to do anything to them.
All right.
However, pushing a car is going to be a very difficult strength. But you can cooperate.
Too strong.
I think if everyone is helping, we can push a car up here to shield us from this.
Well, I can help push the car, but my strength's not good.
You can probably get about 15 people. Actually, thinking about it, you know you don't need to push a car. Because you've got the minibus.
Yeah,
you could drive the minibus down slowly.
Okay.
And get the minibus in the way. So rather than it being a very hard strength test, you can have a challenging 12 driving.
Officer Reyes.
Do I only need 12?
Sorry, I've got to do. You need a 12 total, but that we've got to make sure it's the next round first.
Oh, okay.
So your attempt to do that occurs, if it can, in the breakthrough, which it can. On breakthrough, you can try A, B, C, and D.
So I got. Do I still have the +2 bonuses? That's
Nah, it's gone way back.
It's exactly 12 then.
Okay, the difficulty was enough. You managed to slowly, you drive the car or you drive the minibus down through and bring it up next to the thing. There's a bit of a nasty point because obviously you're parking it with it to your left, and obviously the driver's side is on the left on these things. So you get out of the minibus quickly as the thing begins to, its tendrils begin to investigate the driver's seat. Just as you've moved, a tendril like wraps around the driver's seat and begins to squeeze the cushions.
It's a minibus. I can get out either side, can I not? Because the driver's seat's can go left and right. Or no, I can't. No, it can't. You're right. No, yeah, that's right. Forget what I just said.
Yep, no worries. What have you done?
Because I was picturing minibus as a different type of bus.
Yeah. Now, you have got C and D on this round as well. So you're in round 3. Actually, you're in round 4, actually. People back at the tunnel entrance, you can start seeing shadows moving in the mist. They are getting closer.
Well, we did this turn, so it's next turn then.
Well, no, because you've got C and D. Somebody else could attempt a subsequent action this turn, should they want to.
Who was the person who was going to do C? I can't remember what D is. Cause
somebody needs to make a persuasion test hard to essentially talk and speak and coax everyone else into the tunnel.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because I'm the one with the persuasion charisma thing. Okay, so I don't know if this is the time to sort of have a freak out about having lost the Bible.
If you want to.
Well,
you've had 4 dramatic skill rounds of not being able to do anything else.
Yeah. Okay. So the Reverend sort of like desperately looking through his jacket for the Bible, can't find it, and starts sort of muttering to himself like, "Why, Lord, have you abandoned us? Why have you forsaken?" And then he sort of just falls down.
It's just a book. It's just a book.
Yeah, but he falls
it's
down.
The words that are important, and you can remember them.
Yeah. But he has this sort of short point where he sort of falls down on all four, and then he gets a sort of eureka and stands up and stretches out his arms and says, "For though I walk through the shadow of the valley of darkness, I fear no evil."
Cool.
Which is very apropos.
It is very appropriate indeed.
So
we could even gone for the. You want a better roll than that, though.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a possibility.
You're on a difficult persuasion. The people here are either very scared or quite seeming they're becoming more feral as the minutes pass.
Shit, that's not very good.
Well, you're not in combat, so you can.
I can.
You can use cards.
Right. I've got. Well, I've got willpower. That can maybe wait. That adds something, right?
Willpower would add to charisma.
Yeah, but does it add?
Adds 3, I believe.
Does anyone have the card that adds +3 to your score? I can't remember the name of it. Supporter.
Or supporter, somebody else, yeah.
I have things that help myself, I'm afraid. It's all me.
I know, you're always me. I know.
Absolutely.
Could play the rally.
I just can't play any of them. I have got a second chance card, which I didn't realise I did.
Wait,
Rally might work.
Can I play more than one card?
Yeah, because I mean you're not in combat rounds at the moment.
Right, so I'm going to first play willpower and get +3 to that. Wait, so I'm at right now. I'm at 14.
That's giving you a bonus number of 4.
4. can 10, so I'm at 14. I'm at 17 then.
Okay, well, your difficulty was 14, so
Okay, yeah, right. I can actually do it with just willpower then. I don't need any of your help.
okay, so you managed to start coaxing everybody through.
Yeah.
As the last civilian goes through, Lena, you happen to be one of the people left at the back. And as we go into the next round, there's one more action you need to complete.
All right.
Draw my deck card up. I cannot believe how appropriate every single one of these has been. Uh-oh. Okay, you've got a critical problem, which I'll get to in a second. This dilemma signals real trouble. The booby trap on the bomb attempts to activate, or the heroes might fall from the death trap he's wriggling out of into the pit below. Failing the skill test during a critical problem means the Storm Knights must start over or find a new way to move forward, which means beginning again from step A.
Pass us.
Now,
Everyone with second chance do this.
a couple of things happen. Most of the people are now heading into the tunnel, wading through the water. The tunnel is about sort of 3 feet deep with water, I should have mentioned. But as you're the last one, you turn and you see figures beginning to appear out of the mist. They're all Adinos. At this moment in time, you can see 4 or 5 of them, and they are moving swiftly towards your position. However,
you say we're in the tunnel, did you say?
you're all in the tunnel at the moment.
Okay.
However, Lena, the one that draws your attention more than any others is the Adinos who's about 6 inches taller than the rest, and whose face is daubed with the same red sort of clay that you saw on the other one. But this one you recognize. You remember when everyone was in the tower and you drew the tower's attention towards Brooklyn Bridge, and you saw the 3 humans running away from something, and this tall, muscular Adinos warrior leapt over a wrecked bus, eviscerated one, and then pulled another human in 2 with its bare hands. It's that one.
Met its match today.
But you see that there are numerous, I mean, you can see 5 and this one clearly. You can see your keen eyesight is probably making out 2 or 3 times that number at least, slightly further back in the fog. So there appear to be at least 20 or so combatants. They're still not in melee range. These are just in clear view of you at the moment, and they are moving towards your position quickly. They're probably about 30 or 40 meters.
So what are we rolling for the critical problem then?
Right. Well, you know, Skellen, Lena knows that these things are going to travel faster in this environment than your tribe, especially with the wounded and the young. So you need to do something to stop them from following. You know you're outnumbered. You don't think that there's a way that you can deal with their numbers.
Ooh.
Does Wade say that?
Yeah. So either block the tunnel up or flood it. I don't know how far away we are from the entrance, the exit, sorry.
Well, collapse this cave.
The doctor did, or the Professor Darnell did note that the big plant has compromised the ceiling of the tunnel. If you can do enough damage to the plant, the tunnel may collapse. There is a minibus parked next to the plant at the moment, and remember, Core Earth is the reality of action movies.
Couldn't we just drive the bus into the plant?
Are we in the bus?
No, you're not in the bus. The bus has been parked next to the plant, and Officer Reyes probably wouldn't be keen to get back in after she saw what the tendrils were already doing to the driver's seat as she was getting out of the minibus.
Do a
This is the
long
question.
burst on the bus.
What I was thinking of more along is, can you do the long burst on each part of the plant? Would that be multiple targets, or is the plant just one target?
You could do that. Multiple of you could do that. You can either, as long as you've basically got to do enough damage to the plant, or
Shoot
and
the
that can be
plant.
done by shooting or
wait.
by blowing up the minibus. It's up to you.
Didn't Wade pick up some C4 like stuff in the
No, that
tunnel?
was
No, it was a consistency of C4, but it's actually
Uh,
futuristic trail rations.
Yeah, it's food.
destroyed. It's gone. It's
I've
finished.
got mine. I've got 2 pieces,
Yeah, still got some left, but you can put as many
but it's food.
Well,
many
maybe
triggers in that as fuses, and it
perhaps
won't do anything.
explodes you.
Blowing up a car would be a boss is very, very hard because the fuel tank's so far at the back. So
Yeah, but this
It's
is.
not movies. Right?
This is an action movie.
Yeah.
Therefore, if we shoot it, it will blow up.
Well, Core Earth is the realm of action movies. You are unfortunately still within the living land, which is the realm of survival and adventure
Well,
in a
we
different
can
vein. So
A hole into the tank so gasoline comes out, and that we set on fire.
here's what we'll do, right?
We'll talk and then just shoot.
Wade
I'm gonna
shoots
shoot.
first.
I'm
I shoot
shooting.
second because we've both
I'm
got
not
the
listening
second
to him.
chance
I'm
cards.
shooting.
okay,
Shush, I'm talking to you out of game.
I'm still shooting.
Okay. Have your phone number. I'm gonna phone your daughter and tell her to tell you this message.
okay, go ahead. You
My
can
pho-
shoot the
my
plant.
phone's
It is
broken, I'm
a
afraid.
large. It's lost, isn't it? Didn't you get rid of it?
Yeah, I lost it.
It is a large target, so you're getting a +4 to hit it.
How are you going to shoot it then if you've no gun?
He's
I've
got
got
a
a
gun. He hasn't
gun.
got a phone.
Yeah, I didn't lose my gun. I lost my phone.
Well, I said his real life daughter. I didn't say in the game daughter.
Okay. I'm shooting the. No, I'm going to
No,
go for
didn't
the
say the
action.
tank.
I'm going to shoot the bus.
Okay.
I'm going to do a long burst on the bus.
I assume that you do this once everyone's passed the bus, however.
All right.
Because, for example, Skeleton Lena would have to come into the tunnel to tell everybody else these guys are approaching.
Yep.
I thought you said everyone was in the tunnel already.
Well, Lena was the last one. She was at the entrance to the tunnel looking back, and she saw these figures come through the mist.
Have you removed your glove?
No, I still have my glove.
All right.
It does mean you're a 4K.
And am I able to use cards?
Yeah, you can do it at this moment in time.
Phew, that's all right then.
Normally, it might be you have to do it in rounds to build up, but
I'm
We're on a
wondering whether to
schedule.
use the glove to like sacrifice myself. and
Could
go
you
in and actually
pull the
smash-
trigger, mister? You said you were going so
Smash it.
much, you haven't even pulled the damn thing yet. Do you want me to pull first? Do you want me to pull the trigger?
No.
utilize number 5.
I will also do a possibility because I've got thousands of them.
Yay.
Hey, do I get a bonus on that?
Yes.
Yeah, you roll again. You always roll again on a 10, and you roll again on a 20 if you've got the skill.
Cool.
So 42.
42.
Go on, it's so close to 60.
Oh, has anyone got a glory card?
Yeah, 2 people have got glory cards. You've got
Yeah,
one.
but
I think.
not in the- not in
I
the-
am.
no.
Doesn't matter if it's not. in that
Well, it
thing,
doesn't
you
have
can
to
still
at the
use it.
moment. I will play an action card to allow. No, a drama card, which allows me
Yep,
to
so you
roll
get
again.
another roll.
I'll get 10 or 20.
Need this to be good.
Oh no!
That's all right. It's not a
Extra
mishap. It's
10.
not a mishap. It's extra 10. So you're on
So
a 54.
52.
52, sorry.
52.
Oh, that's
I don't think I've got any
only
more cards. Adrenaline and action.
Remember,
Then-
once per scene, you can play for the dramatic moment, and so if somebody's got like a leadership card that allows them to play into other people's pools, or you can pull any. I suppose it doesn't matter about dramatic moments. You're not in a combat, so. But it's the dice roll. The point thing is the dice roll that has to go over 60.
Yeah.
So that's a 20, 34, 44. You're on a 52.
So I can't help him with any of my cards.
I've got extra cards that can give me extra pluses, but not to my dice roll.
Not to your dice roll. Let me
failed
just double
us.
check about trading cards out of combat. Let's see if we can.
So if we can give him that drama card, that'll help.
Well, he needs
Can't
a
play
hero
it.
No,
card.
I need a
He's
hero
already
card.
used a drama card.
No.
Does anyone have a hero card in the whole of us? I don't.
I've played that, sorry, I forgot.
I don't have any.
Negative.
And you can't do second
It's not
chance because that
happening,
means
is it?
you have to start
do the
from the
whole thing.
beginning.
Yeah.
That's not worth. Well, that's where you got close.
I
No, no,
did.
no,
You
no,
did.
No, no,
Respect.
It's still
you're still useless.
impressive. And you were shooting at the plant or the minibus?
The minibus. So
Okay.
that's 13? No, 14. 14 bonus for that.
Onto your fire combat.
We have no bonus to that at the moment, do we?
No, because that's run out.
12, so 26. Is it a large target or anything like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm
large
doing a-
target. So that's
I'm doing a thingy, all out, whatever it's called, long burst.
long burst, so that's another 4, so that's a 34. So roll 2 bonus dice of damage.
40, yep.
It's enough to do 2 bonus dice.
Come on, get 6s. Oh, that's good.
Not as good.
Damn it.
It's all right though.
19.
So the tunnel's quite well lit, thanks to the professor's glow globe floating over his head. You've retreated down to the point where the water's sort of like up to your chest, and you're holding your gun up, and you start to see reptilian figures creeping slowly down the tunnel towards you. You can't see the big figure that your mum described, but you wait until about 4 or 5 of them are up at the same position as the bus, and then with the careful aim that you've just got the top of this gun just resting on a car lid, that your car roof that you're on front of, and then you just squeeze the trigger, and again you trace the bullets like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you see that you've hit the gas tank, and then the next bullet just, there's an almighty explosion. The Adinos that were near the thing just get plastered against the wall. The large plant begins to writhe, and it doesn't squeal, but it's sort of Venus flytrap mouths who close and open in agony, and then you start to hear the rumble, and then just in front of you everything just goes dark black as the ceiling just collapses down. The water displaces and you're swamped by a great wave coming back from that direction to begin with, but then you quickly pull yourselves back together and make it through to the other side of.
And shall we end now? Because your flight.
We are going to not just end there.
That was the end of my bullets as well.
It does. The tunnel's collapse seals the Dinos war party away from you. They would now have to cross the river to get. You proceed to spend the next sort of 8 or so hours negotiating the remainder of the tunnel, getting out the other side, and within about 9 days travel later, after some other quite hairy situation, you managed to make your way back to Philadelphia. That was D. Blocking the tunnel was D.
Oh.
Supplies, information, reinforcements trickle into the safe zone of Philadelphia. US forces outside the living land do appear to be rallying, and over the following weeks some small amount of news gets to you. And it's a bright morning when lookouts report an incoming VTOL landing craft heading into the Philadelphia safe zone. By the way, at this point, as Storm Knights, you are all stepping up to the opportunity to do good, because it has become apparent to you that you can do things other people can't. That is quite clear. Planes of any kind were a rare sight, especially since disconnecting while flying an aircraft is deadly. After the craft lands, its pilot approaches your group. As I said, you've gelled and stayed together. Even the local authorities are sometimes they're deferring to you, as you've obviously got the ability to handle these things, some things that other people don't. Once the craft lands, its pilot approaches you. He is an older man with short cropped grey hair, browned, weathered skin, and piercing eyes when he removes the sunglasses that he wears almost perpetually. His beaming smile belies the worry lines that crisscross his forehead. I'm glad I found you. I'm from the Delphi Council, the people fighting the High Lords on behalf of Earth. My name is Quinn Sebastian, and I'm looking for a few good Storm Knights. Let's talk about how we kick the High Lords off of our planet, shall we? And that is where Day 1, Living Land, ends.
Yay!
Everyone gets 5 XP for characters you'll never play again, but you get it anyway.
Woohoo! I'm going to put
Is there
my
no way
melee
we
up to
get to play them?
5.
Or you could elect to play them if you desire to at a later point as other characters, but it's not intended that these are the ones that you'll be starting the campaign with. But
So that's
You know, I
Living
was starting-
Land over?
that's the Living Land. That's the Living Land Day 1. Over.
It's just that.
Well done, guys.
What day is the actual campaign going to start on? Sorry.
Day 9.
9.
90.
Oh, sorry, 90. Okay. Oh,
3 months then.
Yep.
3 months in. And if you got the copy of the rulebook still, you've actually got 2 maps. I was discussing this with Badger on the thing. There's 2 maps in there. Each of the individual COSM maps is day 90. But there's a map at the beginning of the section. It's actually the one they use in the core Earth description. That is actually day 1. It's a much smaller map, but it shows the areas that the invaders conquered day 1. You're a Storm Knight, Officer Reyes. Oh, yes, that's what he said to you. Also, other people in your group say, well, that's what they said they were. It was in the Yukana stuff. So you guys have spent the last few weeks. It's not been peaceful in Philadelphia. It would appear that the lizards have, on probably no more than about 8 or 9 occasions, or no less than 8 or 9 occasions, they have thrown huge numbers of forces at Philadelphia.
We'll have them. So Lena remains primitive even when she goes into different realities now.
Yep, at the moment, Lena only runs the risk of changing reality if she disconnects in another reality and then rolls a 1 and then elects not to spend a point of her reality skill.
Cool.
So next week, a little bit of a preview. We will be beginning. I'm going to do it in order.
Does
I think-
unarmed defense skill work off the unarmed combat skill?
It does, so it should go up at the same time as your unarmed combat skill.
That's it. Thank you.
So we'll be going into the Isle reality. So I'll post the character choices up later anyway, but just to let you know the choices you have for the Isle Day 1. Come on, page display, 2 page.
I guess I'll drop the stream now, shall I?
Yeah. Thanks for listening, people.
Yeah, thank you for making it to the end. I'll let the stream go.